It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is Fantasy After Dark. Let's go. Guys, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but this is a new wave that we go live, and phones act crazy. The shit is crazy. I'm a long story
Crazy.
short.
It's got a mind of its own.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we here. We live now. Let's get going. Anything you want to talk about before we get going, Harambe?
No, I'm in the middle of a dynasty draft. It's 6 rounds, and I got MHJ second overall. I took Michael Penix Jr. in the second, and then I took Kitty. I didn't take a Kitty. I took Jalen Wright in the third.
Okay.
Nice little start.
Right. I like Jalen Wright in the third, man. He might not get his run this year, but eventually he's going to take over the Raheem Mostert role. So I think that's a great pick. He reminds me of, I call him baby Chris Johnson. I guess you would call him Walmart Chris Johnson.
I don't know, man. He might be Target Chris Johnson, because like Target might be a little bit better because he's fast, man. He's explosive.
Right.
When I watch his tape, I see almost maybe like, Chris Johnson with maybe some Alvin Kamara in there. I don't know. Pause.
Right. I don't think he can catch the ball like Alvin Kamara, but yeah, I do see what you're saying. He's very explosive. That's why I call him Chris Johnson.
Oh yeah, man. CJ2K is he's one of a kind.
Right. Yes, bro. We will. I'm doing one on StreamYard tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna bring you up on StreamYard, and you can do a stream to your channel. I'm gonna talk to you about that. When we do the mock drafts, I'm gonna let you be able to do a stream that through StreamYard to your channel also. So maybe Sundays can be a day where you can come up and do the mock drafts with me, and you can also stream it to your channel, and it help you give you some views and some watch time. But yeah, so guys, let's get started. Let me see what else I want to talk about, man. You know, it's spicy. This is Fantasy After Dark, man. We could talk about anything. What's going on in the news? What is it? Who's always in the gossip media? What is it called? TMZ? What TMZ talking about?
I don't watch TMZ, man. I don't even have cable. I'm poor.
Right. Okay. Right.
What are they talking about? What's in the circus?
I haven't heard, man. That's what I was. Maybe you might have heard something was going on. I know it's been a big graduation week. Everybody's been graduating. Outside of that, I don't really have anything to say. There we go.
That's Joe Burrow right there.
Yes, sir. So, you want to start it off, bro? Hey,
yeah.
Guys, you can put your comments in the comment section. If you super chat, you get your comment read out immediately. Other than that, guys, we're gonna go through our list first, and after that, guys, we'll get to the comments. You can talk about anything. This is Fantasy After Dark, so anything you want to ask us, you're welcome to it, guys. So, Harambe, go ahead, man. Start with your first guy.
Oh, what's the topic for this evening?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. 10 overpriced players at their ADP value.
All right, so we'll start with quarterbacks. It'll be the same format. We'll have the running back, the wide receiver, the tight end, and then the wild card player, which can be any of them. So I was kind of perusing the chat earlier, and someone mentioned this person for my overpriced quarterback. It is Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, sir.
Now you might be like, Harambe, you're crazy. It's Patrick Mahomes. Yes, it's Patrick Mahomes. In real life NFL, he's the best quarterback in the league, right?
Right.
He's the guy I'd want, being the quarterback on my team, but we're talking about fantasy. And Charlene made a great comment earlier. She said he doesn't need to have all the stats. He doesn't need to be throwing it 500 yards a game. It's the Chiefs. They're going to run with Pacheco. They're going to play defense. And when he needs to, he'll throw the ball and they'll score, right? But they're not gonna need him to chase stats this year. So in real life, yeah, I'm taking him number 1 overall. In fantasy, nah. I'm gonna grab me some wide receivers. Pause. I'm gonna get possibly a stud tight end, and then I'm gonna search for that ADP smasher quarterback in the mid rounds maybe. So
right.
For me, it's Patrick Mahomes. I call him mid Holmes. I had him last year, and He didn't do what I needed him to do.
Right.
Very frustrating. He had,
Right.
I think, one game against the Chargers where he went off. He had a 50-point game. He had 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's the guy I drafted. Where was that? Where was that all season? Where was that all year? I needed that. Right. So I'm going to let him slide. You can move on, Patrick. I'm going to take someone else this year. What do you think about that?
Well, I think guys go through different transitions of their career. I believe at this phase of his career, I don't believe he needs to prove anything by throwing 500 yards. If he throw for 500 yards and 50 touchdowns and get beat the first round or the second round whenever they play, we're gonna be like, "Hey, man, you suck this year." So I believe Pat Mahomes is chasing rings. He's not chasing stats anymore. So to me, he's not a great fantasy football player. Now, I still respect him. I still would draft him at the right ADP, but I'm not taking him as the number 1 QB or the number 2 QB. Shit, I might not even take him as the number 3 QB. That's just how it is. I like to draft guys not off talent, but almost like fantasy garbage time. And Pat Mahomes has had his fantasy garbage time type already done that, right? He's not trying to do that anymore. If they get up, they're not gonna get Pat Mahomes ankle rolled on. So I agree with this, bro. That's why I faded Pat Mahomes and faded a couple other guys last year. And I don't want to get too far, but before we get farther, and I know you disagree, but I respect that. I believe Josh Allen is transitioning to this phase, and I believe this is what the coaches are telling Josh Allen. We don't care nothing about you throwing for 40 tubs. We're going to pay you. Let's win the game. I'm a Cowboy fan. Troy Aikman could have threw to Michael Irvin for a ton of yards, but why would he do that when we're trying to win the game? So running the ball is very, very important. That's why I like the Detroit Lions. They don't ask Jared Goff to do a lot. That's why Jared Goff is a good quarterback. But if you ask Jared Goff to get into like a Sean McVay scheme that he was in 4 or 5 years ago, he could struggle. So, man, I think you killed it with the Pat Mahomes guy.
Thanks, man. I'm fading. A lot of people saying fade the Chiefs. I'm interested in the kicker. If you have a kicker, I'm interested in Pacheco at the right price. I'm interested in Kelsey at the right price. But yeah, I'm fading the quarterback this year.
Right. And listen, man, and I said this, I said this to y'all the other day. It's saying when it comes to ADP, it's like that with women. Like everybody want the top guy, but if the price ain't right, if the attitude ain't right, I don't care what you look like. I don't care how good you are. I'd rather get somebody who's, trying to prove themselves, who's humble, right? You get what I'm trying to say? You get the metaphor that I'm saying? So
yeah.
I would rather take a Kyler Murray than to take Pat Mahomes. So I agree with you 100%. All right, let's move on to my quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on to my quarterback. And my quarterback, the road, please don't fight me. Don't beat me up, bro. Caleb Williams. Yes, Caleb Williams. Guys, I'm not drafting Caleb Williams at his ADP. People are drafting this guy off the board like he is a top 12 quarterback. He's not a top 12 quarterback. He has to prove it. I'm not taking him. It's way too many good quarterbacks. I'm not taking him over Matthew Stafford. I'm not taking him over Jared Goff. I'm not taking him over Kyler Murray. Would I take him over Kirk Cousins? I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it. Right? It's a lot of quarterbacks that's going to be good this year that I'm not drafting this guy over. So I want y'all to be careful. Now, listen, I'm not telling you not to draft the guy, but draft him at the right ADP. Same thing with C.J. Stroud last year. I drafted C.J. Stroud, but I drafted him as the number 15, number 16, number 17 quarterback off the board last year. I didn't draft him as the number 10 quarterback. Even Bryce Young, I didn't draft him as a top 12 quarterback. I'm not drafting rookie quarterbacks in the NFL, no matter how wide open the game is. Pause. So I think people are taking Caleb Williams. Matter of fact, guys, let me look at his ADP real quick. Let me look at this ADP.
I'm gonna turn this fan off because I think it's driving people crazy and they're tripping out. I don't want them to trip out.
Right. Okay, let me type. I should have had this up, guys, but I was sitting around trying to get this technical difficulties fixed. All right, let's look at this ADP. His ADP, guys, is overall in PPR is 105. Player 105 off the board. And they saying as a quarterback 12. I don't think he's the number 12 quarterback. Hey, Harmon, can you turn the light? Can you get a light on in there?
Yeah.
I don't think he's the number 12 quarterback this year. Now, can he end up being a top 5 quarterback? He could be, but I'm not going to draft him there. I think it could ruin your team because he might not start off as week 1 giving you 30 pump, 40 pump, 30 pump, 40 pump, 30 pump, 40 pump, 30 pump, 40 pump. Yes,
I
sir.
think I do think Caleb Williams will be serviceable in fantasy. But like you said, I feel people aren't going to draft him early, but he's hyped as a rookie. People want him on their fantasy team. So I could see people taking him in like maybe the 8th, the 9th, maybe. And that's too early for me.
Yes.
So maybe like if you're going to take him and you're dead set on taking him, wait a couple rounds and then he's probably going to be there. In Dynasty, he went number 1. But we're not talking Dynasty, we're talking redraft. So
right.
I wouldn't mind maybe using him on a bye week or something, but like I'd let him slide even past rounds 8 or 9. Past the 10th round.
Right. Real quick before we move on, I don't want to go too far, but tell me what quarterbacks you willing to take over him or not over him. Like what quarterback? Because I don't believe. Because right now I'm looking at Fantasy Pros. They got him as the number 12 quarterback in PPR. I don't see how you can draft him over guys that some of these guys that's going after him was top 5 guys last year. So tell me what guys you're willing to take.
I'm willing to take Jared Goff over him.
Me too.
I'm willing to take Justin Herbert over him, who's falling in drafts. Guys, keep an eye on that. I'm willing to probably take Daniels over him. If I'm going to pick a rookie quarterback, I might take Daniels, but I prefer the rushing upside. Not to say Caleb doesn't run a little bit.
Right.
I'm taking Will Levis over Caleb.
Woo! That's why, listen, hey, hold up now. That's why I might draw the line just a little bit. I like Will Levis, but I don't mind people taking a shot at Caleb Williams at that ADP that Will Levis is going. But I understand that. I appreciate you being honest. I can't go that far. Pause. Yeah. Okay, bro, you want to go next, man? You want to go next with the running backs?
Yeah, so my guy, my overpriced running back, and TD might disagree with me on this one because I know he's high on this guy, and I know the community's high on him, but are they too high on him? Running back Kyren Williams, Los Angeles Rams. So he's going. I've seen him going in the back end of the first. Pause. I've seen him going early second. That's still a little too rich for my blood. They drafted a stud running back who might be better, but we don't know.
Right.
He was better in college, in my opinion. And with the McVay system, any guy not Todd Gurley, your job isn't safe, bro. Kyren Williams does have his trust. They've preached that. They've gave him props. They've talked him up. He's had a few injuries in his young career. So that's kind of something I'm watching. Now, he's got the skill set. He puts up insane points. But with a healthy Cooper Kupp, maybe he won't be needed too much in the passing game. With an emerging Puka Nacua, maybe they don't need to throw the ball to him as much. They might use the thumper running back. Pause. So I think at the right price, Kyren Williams is a great pick. I'm not drafting him as my RB1, and I'm not drafting him in the first or in the early second. What do you think about that?
I think you are right on, but I think his ADP is going to actually be better for the fit because of the injury that we've been hearing about. Now, I know he's actually healthy now. I think everything is going to work itself out. I think by that injury, it actually helped his ADP. Now you can get him at the end of the second. I'm right, which I'm not taking him as an early early second round pick anymore. I was in some drafts. Now I'm waiting a little bit, but I'm willing to go down with the ship at the end of the second, depending on what my first pick was. So if I went hero RB, and Kyron was probably one of the like top backs that was left. I don't know. I might try to get Alvin Kamara, but would I go ahead and get Kyron at the second round? And I got Tyreek as my second overall pick, and then it comes back around to me. My first overall, in my first round, I took Tyreek as the second overall pick, and then it comes back around to me at the 210, 211. Yes, I'm willing to take Kyron there. I think that's going to be his ADP. So I think his ADP is going to be fine. And you won't always need guys to be every week top 5 guy. If he can give me 6 or 7 weeks where he's finished as the top 12, I'm okay taking him in the second round at the end. How do you feel about that? Do you think are you willing to take him at the end of the second round?
Yes. So I'm watching the comments too, and they're kind of along that line as well. So if you have an early pick in the draft and you draft Tyreek Hill or CMC or whatever, say you're the 1 or 2 pick and you draft one of those guys, you wait and it comes back again, you're going to have 2 back-to-back picks essentially. So yeah, I'm grabbing them all day. Pause. At the end of the second round or early third, that's where he needs to be. I've been doing some mocks, and yeah, they're mocks, and yeah, we're in early June, but he's going in some of these mocks at the end of the first. That is way too high for me. So guys, be careful when you're drafting. If he's going late second, yeah, all day. That's a smash pick, but
right,
I'm not taking him in the first or early second.
Right. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. Okay.
Who's your guy?
So the guy, and this guy, I know you like this guy. So it's kind of like vice versa. This is one of your guys. It's going to be Josh Jacobs. I think his ADP is too high. The reason why I think his ADP is too high because he's going before guys like Zamir White and Alvin Kamara, and those guys ADP is later than his. So why would I draft Josh Jacobs when he's going to be splitting in the backfield? And guess why he's going to be splitting? So I'm gonna give you some data. I know y'all love data, right? So I'm gonna give you some data. Tell me one running back who's got 90%. I'll even say 85% of the carries the whole year with a Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. It's never happened. He paid Aaron Jones more money than he paid Josh Jacobs a couple years ago. And he still didn't get 80% of the carries.
You're onto something because I have Aaron Jones in Dynasty, and owning him, he has his insane boom weeks, and then they don't use him, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Put in your best friggin' player. Put him in the game. So
right, hold up, Rami. Help Jamie out. Tell him and shout that out. We need to do that every like 5 or 10 minutes to help people. Because that's why our likes are down a little bit.
So if you guys want to hit the like, it's a bit confusing. There should be 3 dots in the upper corner. You tap that, you should see the thumbs up button. Should have some options drop down.
Let me know if you found that, Jamie. Let me know if you find that. Guys, go to the top right of the live stream, right? Top right, Harambe?
Top right, should be 3 dots.
3 dots. Click the 3 dots, and then that's where you can get the like button. Let's get the likes up, fellas. We got 12 likes in here. We got 30 people in the chat. So let's get the likes up. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. All right, go. I'm sorry, Harambe. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I thought that was important. My bad.
I was just saying that was a good point with the percentage of on the field and the carries, because being an Aaron Jones dynasty owner, it's brutal at times, even in redraft. And I know you guys could attest to this. You draft him early thinking he's going to be a bell cow in this offense, and he gets taken off the field, or he finishes the game with like 8 carries, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then next week he has 15, and then it goes back. It's like, what's going on? I don't think that recipe is going to change for those guys. So that's a great point. That's a very good point you brought up.
Right. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have like an Isaiah Pacheco season. So Isaiah Pacheco is good, but remember, he gets sniped with touchdowns because this is a throwing team. Same thing with Isaiah Pacheco. Pat Mahomes, when they get down there, they're looking to throw it to Travis Kelce or throw it to somebody else. They want Travis Kelce or somebody else to get a receiving touchdown. Same thing with Green Bay. Dontavius Wicks, Luke Musgrave, Tyler Kraft, all these guys, I think they're gonna get receiving touchdowns. I think in the playoffs, Josh Jacobs is going to be a great play in snow games. Now, listen, will he get 10 rushing touchdowns? Yeah. But if you drafted him in the second round, and talking about, oh, I got a bell cow. I got a bell cow. And then you and then you mad week 4 when he only gets 12 points because they was throwing the ball over the field and he didn't get that many carries. They didn't need to. And A.J. Dillon comes in the game, and A.J. Dillon end up having 8-9 rushing touchdowns this year. And then you also seeing other guys come in and get some carries. Remember when Jamal Williams was there? He was getting carries over Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Right? And, I'm not saying Josh Jacobs is going to have any injuries, but it's also possible for him to have an injury, too, because, he's been used a lot, right? He got a lot of mileage on him. So, powers. But, yeah, guys, that's why I'm fading Josh Jacobs. I'm not taking him unless he falls to me in the 4th round. And I'm probably not going to get him in the 4th round.
How early would you take Josh Jacobs?
4th round.
Late?
Yeah. No, early 4th round. If I got, let's say I get Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Trey McBride, I'm willing to take Josh Jacobs with my 4th pick. But if Alvin Kamara is there, I'm not taking him over Alvin Kamara. I'm not taking him over Zamir White, so I probably won't get him.
Yeah. I like the I like the power running style he brings to Green Bay, and I'm curious to see him utilized like that style of a running back, not necessarily a PPR back, to open up, passing lanes for Mr. Love.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, correct. I could see it. I like how you're talking about taking Kyron. If he falls to the late second, I would take him in. I would take Jacobs like early 4th. I would take him in the 4th. I'd take a shot.
Right.
So, yeah, I think he's a polarizing player, especially on a new team, and we don't know. But he's young.
Right. I mean, he's not that young. He's not that young because you got to look in running back. Because remember, Zeke is young. But when you get 1,000 carries, I think you go into a different phase of your career, unless you Derrick Henry or somebody. And I think Josh Jacobs have had right at 1,000 carries at this point in time of his career.
We're going to see. They drafted a guy. They drafted a stud too.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Let's move on to the wide receiver position. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can start off with this one. The role, you're not going to like this one either. Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not taking Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 2nd round. Listen, I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to have a good season. I think he's going to be a top 24 wide receiver. I think he could be top 5 in the 4th quadrant, which is the fantasy football playoffs. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. But I'm not drafting Marvin Harrison in the 2nd round above guys like Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Cooper Kupp. Depending on what Puka Nacua going. Hopefully Puka Nacua will be going off the board. I'm not drafting over him over some of these guys. So listen, none of these players that we are talking about are bad players. Ain't those really. I don't think it's a bad player in fantasy. It's all about the ADP value. So I like Marvin Harrison. I just can't take him in the 2nd round. The earliest I'm willing to take him, which I'm probably not going to get him, is probably 4th round, late 3rd round, maybe. If I got Kyler Murray in a super flex league, maybe I take Marvin Harrison early as my 2nd wide receiver. He's definitely not going to be my 1st wide receiver unless I went robust RB and I got like Saquon Barkley and CMC, and then I got Travis Kelce, and then I go Marvin Harrison, maybe.
It's a good point. I drafted him today in Dynasty, 2nd overall. I'm stoked.
Got to.
You got to. And I'll be pairing him nicely with CeeDee Lamb in that league and Lamar and Stafford. So I'm stoked. And LaPorta. So that's going to be a problem team. I feel he's the type of player when draft season starts where people are going to be taking him maybe early, like you said. And then a lot of GMs they're just gonna say no because they don't know. They don't want to like take the chance on him. For me, I think he would fit in nicely as an overall QB2. Like if you have a stud wide receiver one, or excuse me, wide receiver two. So say like you have a stud wide receiver one, and then you plug him in, and he booms. Like that's gonna be good.
Right, I agree with that.
Yeah, and the earliest I would take him is, I would say the 4th, probably in redraft.
Right.
I think that's good, and that might be a little late. I don't know.
Right.
He's gonna be the guy. Like they draft him to be the guy. So him and McBride are gonna be a problem. I know you're all over McBride. Pause.
Right. I love McBride. I made a bet with a guy. I won't be surprised if McBride outsnaps, not outsnaps him, but have more catches than Marvin Harrison. Now listen, I'm not just gonna say that because Marvin Harrison is not chopped liver. I believe that high in Trey McBride. Guys, I think Trey McBride is the second coming, not Walmart, not Target, not Baby, second coming of Travis Kelce. I believe that high in him. So, guys, this is one of these guys. If we don't hit, that's going to be on my list of guys that I missed on and bringing my percentage down. These are one of my guys that I am high on. I was high on David Njoku, and I was on him for years. I've been high on Kyle Pitts, still high on him. Another guy is Trey McBride. The game is getting ready to be played through tight ends. Trey McBride is going to be lining up at wide receiver. Now, people might say, well, listen, the only reason why he got so many targets last year because they didn't have anybody. They said that same thing about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He didn't have anybody. TJ Hawkinson went down, got hurt, and then Jameson was drafted late, and he was hurt and all this type of stuff. And Amon-Ra went out and balled, and it was just because he was special. I believe Trey McBride is the same thing. I believe he is special. So I think he's going to be better early than Marvin. Now, once Marvin get going, then I think he's going to get more targets because he's a wide receiver. But still, I won't be surprised if Trey McBride leads this team in targets for the next 4 to 5 years.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a special player. We know that. Trey McBride is a special player as well. That's going to be a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses for a long time. And they drafted a running back. They drafted a stud running back too.
Right.
They're going to be a problem if they're coached and utilized right, and they can play a little bit of defense. They're going to be a problem, man.
Right. Also, do you know who their head coach is a disciple of?
The Lord.
I like that. But he's a disciple of the offensive coordinator. Is a disciple of Kevin Stefanski.
Okay.
So, do you know who Kevin Stefanski, who he hyper targets in his offenses? Tight ends. Pause. So I feel great about Trey McBride. This is going to be a play action type offense, and that benefits the tight end.
I'm really excited to watch this team play this year. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I don't think they're going to be like a Super Bowl threat or anything like that, but I do think they'll be pesky, and I think they're going to be fun to watch for fantasy. So I'm excited to watch these up and coming players, come into their own, and like we get to watch them on our phones and like, oh yeah, he got the bonus. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. I agree with you 100%. Facts, bro.
Yeah, man. All right. So I think I'm gonna get some hate on this one, but that's fine. Overdrafted wide receiver for me is Drake London.
You ain't gonna get it from me. I'm not saying I'm not gonna pick him, but I understand it.
So Drake London's a good player. He didn't boom last year like everyone drafted him to, but look who his coach was. They ran the ball, 20,000 times.
And quarterback.
Right. Exactly. It's an upgrade at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is still, he had that injury, but he's at camp and he's participating and he's gelling with this new team. But that's just what it is. It's like a new team. It's a new offense. It's a new coaching scheme. He balled so good in Minnesota because of the scheme and the coach. They were a throwing team. I do believe they're going to throw quite a bit in Atlanta, like obviously more than last year. It's going to go through Bijan. It's going to go through Pitts, and it's going to go through Drake London as well. But people are taking Drake London in the second round. That's too early for me, man. To me, like if I could get him, I think the highest I would gamble on Drake, and this is a maybe, is maybe the late third, maybe, depending on who my other draft picks are. But there's other wide receivers I want. I want some wide receiver twos on teams over him. I want Waddle over him.
Right.
Maybe I might even say Devonta Smith, and like people might call me crazy for that, but whatever. This is just my take.
Right.
I think he's being overdrafted. But if he falls a little bit by the time we're drafting, closer to fall, yeah, I would like him on my team. But I'm not going to have him as my wide receiver one. No way. No way. And there's some other wide receiver twos I like over him. So I think that's a spicy name to draw out of the hat for, overdrafted, but curious to know what the chat thinks. I would personally rather have Bijan Robinson or Kyle Pitts. I want to see Kyle Pitts because he's a value where he's being drafted at. And he's got the same quarterback coming in. So if Drake London's going to boom, Kyle Pitts has to boom, right?
Right. To me, I love Drake London talent. If he was on a team with a quarterback that I would say was healthy, I would be drafting him. Maybe not second round just because of what he did last year, which has nothing to do with his talent. It's just I want to get him at a good value. But why would I draft him in the second round when Kirk Cousins is coming off an Achilles injury? I still need to see Kirk Cousins push through that. So if Kirk Cousins starts off slow, who's going to be surprised? They're not going to get rid of Kirk Cousins or put him on the bench just because he started off slow. He had Achilles injuries. So that he needs time. And that's going to be more time for Drake London than Kyle Pitts. So I'm not taking Drake London as my number one wide receiver off the board. I like guys like Amari Cooper over him, not as in talent, but as in value and who's going to start off with a fast start. I think Amari Cooper is. You got to understand, when your wide receivers or running backs or any position start off slow, maybe outside of tight end, it can hurt your team. And then all of a sudden, you wonder why you need to win the last two games to get in the playoffs. Well, your guys didn't hit early. So you need guys that's going to be for sure early guys getting targets. And that way you don't have to wait on these guys to hit. And then you trade them away and somebody else becomes a better team because they get them and buy low from you. So you got to understand, you got to give your team some room to breathe where you can wait on some guys, but also you got guys who are going to start off early. So if you got a good team, I think Drake London is a good guy to get as your wide receiver 3. If you can get him as your wide receiver 3,
absolutely.
Or if you got a killer, robust RB team, like you got CMC, and then you got Kyron, and then you maybe got Saquon or something like that, 3 stud running backs, and then you get Drake London, I can understand him being like your wide receiver, quote unquote, one then, but I'm not taking him as, I got a great wide receiver 1, and I go Amon-Ra, and then I get Drake London. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking him as my wide receiver 2 off the board or wide receiver 1.
I look at it the same way how you talked about McBride and MHJ. Like Kyle Pitts' rookie year at 1,000 yards.
Right. Correct.
He can do it. That I would rather have that value, and it's Kyle Pitts season. All aboard. Let's go.
Pause. Right.
So next.
All right, so yeah, man, you want to do your tight end first? Pause.
I'll do my tight end first. Pause. All right, so I think this is overpriced tight end, and he's not going super high in drafts, but there's other players around where he's going I would rather have. Saw it in the chat earlier. It's Ravens tight end Mark Andrews. So I've seen him going in mocks again. It's early. It's mocks. We get it. I've seen him going as high as the 3rd round. I'm not doing that.
Right.
He's usually going maybe the 5th, 6th. If he's there at like the 8th round, I might take him. But there's other players I want. And in some ADPs, they have Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers ranked the same. Give me Zay Flowers all day, way earlier, and I'll let Mark Andrews go.
Right.
And then there's another guy on the opposite side named Isaiah Likely.
And
he is likely to smash his ADP spot this year.
Come on now.
So give me that guy way later and maybe a Zay Flowers earlier or a Henry earlier or something. Mark Andrews is not a bad tight end. He's a fantasy stud. We've seen it. But I don't think you need to reach or draft him too high in drafts because there's going to be other players you can get later with better value. And there might be players right there at his ADP who need to be drafted over him.
Right. I agree with you 100%. And listen, see, this is where they might, because I seen a comment earlier. I'm going to wait till I get to it about Drake London. It's the same thing. But I'm not going to be surprised if Mark Andrews get 10 receiving touchdowns. But do you want a tight end with 600 yards and 10 receiving touchdowns? I mean, yeah, that's good, but that's going to be a very efficient tight end. That's not going to be a high value tight end. It's going to be a lot of tight ends with 800, 900 yards that you're going to be able to draft that's going to get targeted more. Listen, remember what we talked about with Pat Mahomes? A lot of these guys that we're talking about, they are great players. They probably are Hall of Fame players, but they are in the second phase of their career, which is, I'm trying to win championships. Mark Andrews is not going to be trying to win no MVP at the tight end position, knowing that he needs to stay healthy this season to help Lamar Andrews and help Lamar Jackson in the fantasy football playoffs. I mean, not fantasy, NFL playoffs. It's all about the NFL playoffs. Why are you going to overuse this guy in regular season for fantasy? It doesn't matter. So I believe when they get to the red zone, yes, he is a great red zone target, but he's not going to be hyper targeted. This is going to be a Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, Rashad Bateman team. But then when they in the red zone, Mark Andrews is going to be the first target. So he will be getting touchdowns, just not a hyper targeted tight end.
I agree.
Yeah,
I probably won't draft him unless he's there 8th round.
Late.
Yeah, right. I'll probably draft him.
Right. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Let's get the likes up, fellas. Okay. This tight end is going to be very, very, very saucy.
Oh, you're bringing the sauce.
I'm bringing it.
Oh. All right.
Sam LaPorta.
Ooh.
I'm not taking Sam LaPorta in the 2nd round or the 3rd round. He's not going to be my number 1 tight end off the board. So what? That means I'm not going to get him. So let me go ahead and give you a couple of reasons why that I'm not taking Sam LaPorta. First reason is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hyper targeted. Second reason is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. Third reason is going to be David Montgomery. And the 4th reason is going to be Jameson Williams. Now, why would I draft a tight end that's not some super hyper target guy? Sam LaPorta is an efficient tight end where if you taking away our weapons, I can eat too. If it's 3rd and 5, they're not going to Sam LaPorta. A lot of tight ends that I'm drafting, these guys are high-end guys. Like, when the game is on the line, they're going to him. Now, I'm not saying Sam LaPorta can't have big plays, but he's not the go-to guy. He's just in such a great system that he can eat. So I'm not taking – I want the tight ends on the board. I want super-duper hyper-athletic guys like David Njoku, who I know, when we get in the red zone, we automatically going to him. I think Sam LaPorta got a lot of value last year because they had to take away Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they also had to take away that run game with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Now, Jameson Williams wasn't in the ballpark last year, so it was Sam LaPorta. This year, Jameson Williams is going to move forward, and him and Sam LaPorta are going to be fighting for targets. Sam LaPorta might out-target him, but still his target's going to go lower. So is he going to have that efficiency season that he had last year? I don't believe so. But is he going to be a top 5, top 7 tight end? Of course. But why would I take him as my number 1 tight end when I can get guys like David Njoku, Kyle Pitts, Trey McBride, even Travis Kelce? Travis Kelce might not be super hyper targeted, but he's still going to be Travis Kelce. He's still going to get 7 or 8 targets a game, especially early in the season. So I'm fading Sam LaPorta as the number 1 tight end overall off the board.
Man, you hurt my heart. You heard it. That's my dynasty tight end. I need him. I need him to do that again and
Right.
set more records and build on what he did his rookie year. Those are all valid points, and I cannot disagree with you. That's why it hurts.
Right.
I think when you brought up those tight ends just a minute ago, those names at the end there, Njoku, even McBride over him. Kelsey's back on the menu apparently. Hyper targeted, right?
Right.
What about guys like Evan Ingram? You could get way late. He caught over 100 balls
Right.
last year. Pause.
Right. And Sam LaPorta ain't gonna be no guy that's gonna be giving you consistent 18 points. Why would you draft him and he might give you 11 points when Evan Ingram could be right there next to him or even better? That's it's not about Sam LaPorta. It's just the value at the tight end position.
I think if they could really get their run game going and those backs can stay healthy, if Montgomery can go all year and Gibbs, comes up more in the passing game, I think Sam LaPorta is a huge mismatch. He's a matchup nightmare.
Right.
I would expect them to keep him involved and to probably scheme up more plays for him. I wouldn't be surprised if what you're saying happens.
Right.
Because he set records. Can he really elevate it that much more?
Right.
Like, can he put up Kelsey numbers? Probably not, because he's not going to be targeted as much. But he's going to be the first tight end I'll be looking at on the draft board.
Right.
Now where he goes is what matters. So that's a spicy pick, man. I can't agree with you. I think he's the best tight end in football, except for probably still Travis Kelsey, who needs to be healthy.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's controversial. But I could see it. I could see scenarios where that happens.
Right. What I would ask you real quick, if you swap out Trey McBride and Sam LaPorta, what does Sam LaPorta do? Is he still the number one tight end?
I don't know. I think it really depends who you talk to.
I think you could have put Evan Ingram, you could have put David Njoku, and that's kind of easy. I think you could have put Jake Ferguson. I think Ferguson being on the Dallas Cowboys kind of like Sam LaPorta. They just around great talent, and the system fits them. I don't think Sam LaPorta is a guy where you put him like he beats Kyle Hamilton for a touchdown to win a playoff game like Travis Kelsey did. But I believe if you try to take away a weapon and you leave Sam LaPorta one-on-one with a linebacker, he's going to eat. He's good. He is a good talent. Don't get it twisted. I just don't think he's a super talent. So I don't want to take a tight end too early that's just based off of game script to end up getting all those points. But he had some big games last year, and it was because they didn't know who to stop. They were trying to take Amon-Ra away. They were trying to take Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and then Sam LaPorta on a crossing route, beat you 30 yards. But then he is great yak. He runs tough. He is hard to bring down. He's a big guy, pause. So, yeah, man, I think I'm just talking about a little bit of the nuances, but you okay with that? If you okay with that type of guy, I understand it. Me, I want a tight end who they like, okay, yeah, this is one of the best players on the field. We going at him on 3rd and 3 to win the game.
If I have an early pick, and again, it's like the Kyron thing from earlier.
Right.
Coming back to you, back-to-back picks, I'm probably going to take Sam LaPorta.
Right. I respect that. I don't think it's a wrong move. I know what Sam LaPorta is. I just can't do it. I watched the game. I just didn't see that type of guy. I just saw where they was trying to take away the run game. And he was running wide open. Not a lot. Now, he was beating guys, but he was just running wide open. I mean, it's a great scheme, man. It's a very great scheme.
Yeah, man. I think that's a spicy pick for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we got the wild card pick now.
Yes.
So any position, why don't you go? Why don't you do your over?
Okay, I got another spicy one, guys. It's not as spicy as Sam LaPorta, but it's spicy. And it's AJ Brown, new brother in town. AJ Brown.
Ooh.
AJ Brown, new brother in town. Yes, guys, AJ Brown. Now listen, If I can get AJ Brown in the mid-second round, I'm taking him. I don't want to draft AJ Brown as in the first round over Puka Nacua, over a lot of guys who I believe is going to be hyper target. I think this team is going to be a run first team this year. So I would rather go to the wide receiver 2, which is going to be better value, which is Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is not better than AJ Brown, but his value is better than AJ Brown. And so with Saquon, I think Saquon having a big year, I think is going to hurt AJ Brown yards. Last year, guys, they tried this AJ Brown, give it to him 12 times a game, and he had a big season, but it wasn't a winning formula. You got to go with the formula and game script. The game script for them is when they was the #1 rushing team in football when they went to the Super Bowl. And so that's why I love Saquon Barkley this year. I think this team is going to be one of the best run teams, and they're going to play action and throw and spread the ball around to guys like AJ Brown. God is going to get some opportunities to catches. And Devontae Smith to me is probably the best value guy to pick outside of Saquon Barkley. I think AJ Brown just is going to be more like a top 12 wide receiver, not top 5 guy.
I love AJ Brown, man. I am gonna take one of those wide receivers because of the OC that they brought in.
Right.
Right. Likes to throw the ball. I think if you can get Jalen Hurts at a decent value, he's an easy smash pick because he's going to throw more this year. But is he going to lose out on the goal line to Saquon, like kind of what you're alluding to?
Right.
I do think the value on Smith is better because you could get him later. And if you look at their numbers, they're pretty similar. I would expect them to feed AJ Brown quite a bit this year. I don't think they want a scenario again with him, bitching on the sidelines.
Right.
Like going full diva mode, full send diva mode.
Right.
We don't want that. That's not a good look. You want to win the game. So
right.
He's, in my opinion, he's their best player still, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon's right there. There's argued to be made he's the best player. He's probably better overall football talent. But I think AJ Brown's their best player.
I agree with that.
Besides Jalen Hurts, obviously.
I think he's better than at their position. I think AJ Brown is a Hall of Famer.
I think he's underrated. Like, I think he's going high in drafts, but I don't think people put the respect on his name, kind of like a Cooper.
Right.
So I'm a big fan of AJ Brown. If I can get him early second, I'll take him. Or if I have a pick, at the end of the first right there, and he falls to me in the second, I'll take him. But I wouldn't take him too early in the first, by a couple picks maybe. That's a good take, man. So you think they're going to run the ball a lot?
Yes. Listen, so what I'm saying is the nuances. So this is what you would say. So I guess if I'm in the playoffs and AJ Brown give you 13 points, and then I have a guy like Waddle who goes for 30, but he necessarily may not be what AJ Brown is. I don't think AJ Brown is every single game that you can count on him to be hyper targeted because of this team trying to transform into a different type of team. If you put AJ Brown on the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm taking him in maybe 1-6, 1-5. But game script matters. And that's, to me, I can feel game script. As a coach, I know each year I'm coming out and I'm doing different things. Don't ever be surprised when Kansas City become a running team. I said what I said. Kansas City will be a running team eventually as Pat Mahomes gets older. You have to change up your formula from winning games. And then you have a quarterback who can go and always win the game. So I don't believe that Jalen Hurts is going to be throwing it 40 times. And come on, AJ Brown, 1-on-1, let's go. That may help his stats, but that's not a winning formula. Because what if Jalen Hurts throws a pick early trying to get hyper targeting him? Now you behind the line of the chains. I say he's going to eat this. These guys both are going to have high end and be very efficient, kind of like Debo and Ayuk was. CMC ran the ball a lot, but Ayuk and Debo didn't get a lot of targets. So why would I take Debo when he's a great player or Ayuk high when they not going to get the volume that other guys are going to get in trash times? So that's why I'm fading AJ Brown. It ain't got nothing to do with his talent. AJ Brown is one of my favorite players. I actually, guys, go back and look at my first 5 videos ever when I first started my channel. And I said AJ Brown was one of the best wide receivers, and people said I was crazy. Tyreek Hill, Kyler Murray, and AJ Brown was my first. It's 3 out of my first 5 videos. So I love AJ Brown. He's one of my favorite players. I always like the guy, his statue, pause, because of, he looks like a running back. He's 220 and can move, got great feet. But this year, I'm sorry, AJ Brown, they sit here and told him, don't you have no outbursts again and start hating on Devontae Smith again. Because listen, you're gonna get yours. We're gonna pay you, AJ. We ain't worried about your stats. I know you want to be great, but we want to win. We want to win. So winning is bigger than hyper targeting a guy. If you look at teams who throw the ball to try to get these yards, they lose in the playoffs. That's why I like Detroit this year, man. Detroit, like, listen, we'll pass the ball. Amon-Ra is the elite receiver, but we ain't gonna pass it just to get Amon-Ra stats. We're gonna establish the line of scrimmage, and then we're gonna try to hit you where you don't know what's gonna happen. Up, run, pass, and that's what this team is going to be this year. And they tried to do that last year, and Jalen Hurts started turning the ball over a lot.
Those are valid points, TD. Those are valid points. I think that's a polarizing pick, and you would get people going either way,
Right.
Agreeing or disagreeing.
Right.
He's one of my favorite players too, and when he booms in fantasy, he could boom now. He could put up those 30 faults, right?
He can, but I don't think he's gonna do it this year because they're not gonna hyper target him like that. Will he put up a consistent 17? Yes, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is gonna throw the ball enough for him to put up as many as 30, 40s as he did last year. That's just my 2 cents. I could be wrong.
Where would you take AJ Brown?
So let me tell you this. If I want to get the Philadelphia stack, I'm willing to take him at the 112, 201 because I'm looking to get the stack. If I went at the 110 and I got, let's see, Saquon Barkley, or not, I won't say Saquon Barkley, let's say Puka Nacua. I don't want to match him with AJ Brown. I don't want Puka Nacua and AJ Brown. So I probably would go and get a running back there or another wide receiver, depending on what's left on the board. I'm probably, to me, what feels good with me with AJ Brown is probably 112 and 2-1 because I feel great about the next player that I'm going to get with him. I don't want to count on him to be getting 30 points, and then if he don't get it, then I lose that week. I think it's more players with a little bit more upside. That's just me. I like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with AJ Brown. He's a good. What I'm talking about at the ADP value is the guy going to be the number 2 overall wide receiver, or he going to be the number 8 overall wide receiver? Because that's only 2 points. But that makes a difference. The difference between Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson is Tyreek Hill being a number 1 wide receiver. So that's why you go and take Tyreek over CMC. Do you go and take the number 2 over like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson over CMC? No, I'm not doing that per se. Right at that ADP where they going. So to me, it's just a small little amount of what I'm talking about.
I see, man. I see why you make those points. They're valid. I think that's where he needs to go, like end of the first, early second.
Right.
And I don't think I'd want to pair him with Puka either. I think if you can get maybe like a Gibbs there,
right,
something like a Waddle,
right,
something like that.
Right.
So my wild card pick is Stefon Diggs.
I like that.
So Stefon Diggs is a fantasy stud. He has been for years. We know this. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game. He has a trend of balling out his first year on new teams. We saw that.
Right.
He's going to do it again this year. But where are you taking him? I'm not taking him over Nico Collins. I'm taking Nico Collins over Stefon Diggs. So I see in some mock drafts, it's early, but he's going in the 3rd, in the 4th. That's a little early for me. If you could land him as a wide receiver 3 on your team.
Right.
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 But I would rather have Nico Collins, and I'm willing to take Nico Collins pretty high.
Right.
So golly gee willikers, like, why would you take Diggs over Nico Collins, the guy who just secured the bag?
Right.
That's the guy. And then you got Tank Dell you could get later too.
Right.
And he's more of a boom guy. Diggs isn't going to be that boom guy anymore.
Right.
And they're going to take him off the field at times.
Right. These are what we are talking about. I think this is why I was taking Tyreek over Jamar Chase and guys. Like, I get exactly what you're saying. Like, I'm not gonna be surprised if Stefon Diggs goes out first game and get 8 catches for 100 yards, but he's not gonna do that every single game. And if you get mad and say he had a bad week, you don't understand fantasy football. Same thing. And I hate to go back to AJ Brown, but if AJ Brown have 4 catches 1 week for 60 yards, I'm not worried about that because it wasn't his day. But you got some players, it's gonna always be their day. So I'm willing to draft those guys, even when some of these guys are going in later. Like Alvin Kamara, every single game is going to be his day. But Jahmyr Gibbs, every day is not going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs day. So you see how the ADP is different and how I could maybe say fade Jahmyr, even though Jahmyr is going to be going way before Alvin. That's what I mean. So I agree with you, fading. I'm not taking Stefon Diggs when you got 3 mouths to feed, and these guys are going to be playing the merry-go-round, and they all going to be eating. So who do you target when everybody is eating? I'm targeting the latest ADP guy, which is Tank Dell.
A lot of people think that's the wide receiver 1 on that team.
And if they do, that's fine. But look at it. Don't matter what happens at that ADP. When you pick it in the first round, you need to get these hyper target dumb guys. Oh, every single game, you're going to be the number 1 guy no matter what. We giving you the ball every single time no matter what. We're going to give you 10, 12 targets. So I don't believe Stefon Diggs is going to be a target leader in football this year. I think he could be maybe top 12, top 14, but I don't believe he's going to be a target leader like he's been with Buffalo.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going Joe Mixon at a fair ADP, or do you want Diggs as a wide receiver 2 on your team?
See, you already know, bro. That's a great ass question. I want Joe Mixon at that ADP value because I don't want to depend on Diggs. There's other guys that I really depend on at that ADP where he's going.
Yeah, man. I'd rather have the goal line touches, and he's going to have touches all up and down the field.
His goal line touches? I don't think Dameon Pierce is going to take his goal line. Now, if Dameon Pierce has a boom season and Joe Mixon has a bad season, that's the only thing you got to worry about. But when they get on the goal line, I think Joe Mixon is going to be the guy, and he can have 10 rushing touchdowns.
I want to see Diggs go full diva mode at least one time this season. I want to see it.
He is. Okay.
Perfect.
Right.
Beautiful. I can't wait.
Right.
Yeah, man. I think Stefon Diggs is another one of my favorite players in the league. I loved him on the Vikings. I loved him on the Bills, and he's gonna be a baller on the Texans. But I'm not taking him that high. I'd rather have, like you said, a much more value pick in Tank Dell and Joe Mixon. I'd rather have Joe Mixon over Diggs all day. Or Nico Collins.
Right.
But
right.
If he falls in the draft and he can be put in the wide receiver spot, third spot.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's
right. Or wide receiver
not doing bad.
Right.
Yeah, man. So for me, the earliest Texan I'm willing to take is Nico Collins.
Right. To me, I hate to do this. Charlene, forgive me, because I know she don't like us to be vulgar too much about the relationship stuff. But me, when it come to me picking a wide receiver for the Texans, I'm taking the sloppy seconds.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm taking the sloppy seconds. I'm taking whatever's left. Because if I gotta choose between J-Lo, Margot Robbie, and Mila Kunis, I don't care what's left over, bruh. I I don't care what's left over. You trying to fight over J-Lo and Mina? I'm gonna get Margot then. You good? Go ahead and do that. All of them fine. All of them gonna get targets. Pause.
Yeah, man. It's the analogy is hilarious, and it makes real life sense, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think the consensus might be as we get closer to draft season that like Diggs, his value or his ADP might drop a little bit. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Right. Correct.
But I still think he's got talent, and he's obviously got value.
Of course. You don't win championships. Go look at San Francisco. Debo didn't do a lot in the championship game. They almost won that game, and it's the Super Bowl. But he didn't do a lot. But guess what? It wasn't his game. It wasn't his game. It was the Jawan Jennings game. That's how football works. It's rarely where you get a guy like Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. I would go Jamar Chase. It's very few guys where every single week, guys, they always going to get the targets and they're going to get the goal line targets and be able to score. But not the reason why they went out and got Stefon Diggs, they don't want you to be able to take away their players. You can't take away Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stefon Diggs and stop the run game. You can't do it. Same thing with when I go to Detroit. You can't take away Sam LaPorta, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can't take them all away. Somebody gonna eat. Somebody is, and so that's why I believe in squeezing. That's why I like stacks, bro, because I'm gonna get those boom points on good offenses some type of way. So if you can get CJ Stroud and you get Stefon Diggs and Nico and Joe Mixon, I don't think that's not overstacking. I'm okay with that. I actually think CJ Stroud could be the number one quarterback this year with the weapons that he has.
How many? I think he's obviously going to put up insane passing stats for fantasy and probably real life as well. Do you think he carries any rushing value at all? Like two or three rushing touchdowns, maybe?
I wouldn't worry about the rushing touchdowns, but I would say 20 yards a game.
Just enough to put him like right there over another player, maybe?
I think it makes him. I don't know. I can't compute what his rushing value going to be, but he can make plays when he needs to. So he might have a couple games where he have a rushing touchdown, maybe a quarterback sneak.
The only saving grace for me to start Mahomes every week besides name value was some of his rushing. He would have 40 yards a game, 60 yards a game, 20 yards and 2 touchdowns and 300 yards. So those stats can help you win a week possibly if you're in a close game. So rushing production out of a quarterback is always gold.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. So we're done with the list, man. That's it.
Yeah, I guess we can go start with the chat now.
Yeah, you wanna just start at the top and go down?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, sir. So yeah, I started off, man, and then then you can pick up or we can alternate. It doesn't matter. We'll wing it a little bit. Ethan, I see you in the house, Big Will. Ethan says, in my opinion, Josh Allen way too high. He is low 20s and before every quarterback. What do you think about that? You're a Josh Allen guy.
I think Josh Allen's going to be the number one player overall, points-wise. I think he's going to put up an MVP-style season. I probably won't draft him in the first or the second round, but maybe the third, depending on what my first 2 picks were. If I'm not happy with my first 2 picks, I'm probably not going to take Josh Allen there. Or do I? Because it's guaranteed points, right? So
right.
Just all about the approach and what the style of team is that you want to build.
Right.
But I think he's a fantasy gold mine.
Right. Well, I was actually thinking about putting him on my quarterback list, but I didn't do it because I thought Caleb Williams was a better fit. But I'm not really taking a lot of Josh Allen this year because I don't think he's going to have a lot of garbage time. I think this team is going to be better than people think. I think this team is going to be really good this year, and that's going to hurt Josh Allen value. Where I would say James Cook is the guy that I want to have, or Dalton Kincaid. I don't think this is going to be a Josh Allen 14, 15 rushing touchdowns. But listen, I do hear what you say, and I know you know Josh Allen. And I respect your fantasy takes, bro. So he could be the number one quarterback again. I won't be surprised. Well, maybe a little bit. If he does that, it's going to solidify him as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he's already, but he's definitely going to be one because he don't have that much talent at the wide receiver position.
Right.
So yeah, I can understand what Ethan is saying. Zach says overpriced players. Marvin Harrison Jr. I had that. Oh, he got Sam LaPorta, so he agreed with me.
He had a
I didn't
couple
see
of them,
that.
man. He had a couple of them. Look.
Mark Andrews, Chris Olave, Drake London. Yeah, hey, good job, Zach. You can tell he watched the content. Yes, sir. I agree with that. I wanted to have Chris Olave in there, but I didn't want the road to cuss me out on the live. So I said, I don't want that smoke. I didn't want that smoke today.
You don't want that smoke, man. Trust me.
I don't want that smoke today. And Drake London, hey, great job, Zach.
Yep.
Not just because you're gonna be right or you said what I said, but I just feel like, man, you actually giving me some assurance, like, okay, my guys that I pick aren't crazy, right? You actually think that too. And you got a lot of Harambe guys too. I see you. I see what you said, Harambe. Would you respond to that?
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. I love those emojis, bro. I love those emojis.
Emojis are great.
Yeah. Zach says, what do you think of Devontae Adams in my flex spot in Dynasty? Uh-oh.
SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. Let's see. Rami says, I think that's awesome. He's good enough to be in the wide receiver slot, in my opinion. But I remember you stacked up Zach.
You don't have to read
a stacked team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has a stacked team. You don't have to read my comments, man. Get to everybody else's.
Right. But I just wanted, because it went with what he was saying.
Right.
Tyler says, I've been drafting a ton of Jalen Polk late in best ball. LSU always seems to produce great wide receivers. Yes, they do. But Polk didn't go to LSU. Polk went to Washington. Did he transfer from LSU?
I'm not entirely sure of that.
Okay. Let me see. That team you told us about is nasty. Okay. Great pick. Thanks, guys. Okay. Charlene says, too early for drafts. I want to see some of the rookies play in the preseason games before I draft them. Do you need to see preseason rookie? Do you need to see rookies in the preseason, or that's not going to determine on you drafting them?
Not for me.
I agree with you. If you see it in preseason, then they ADP gonna rise. To me, I'm gonna draft with the rookie guys. As long as it ain't high, I'm gonna draft them. I'm gonna stash them. I'm mostly rookies that I'm drafting. I'm stashing them. But Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't really care what he does in the preseason. If you like him, you just got to go get him.
I'm starting him week 1. No question about it.
Right. The Rose said you're gonna. Okay, we did that one. 34-time rookies like the rookie draft. The Road talked about Kamani Vidal. I like Kamani Vidal this year. I think he has a chance to push Gus Edwards. What you think about Kamani this year?
Yeah, to me, he's like Kareem Hunt 2.0. He's a little tank. He's good at blocking as well. So they drafted him for a reason, and that college seems to produce elite level running back talent in the NFL.
Right. Tyler responded to you. He said he didn't know Wright was dropping that late in drafts to the 3-10.
I got him at the 3-2.
Oh, 3-2. I'm sorry, 3-2.
But I was targeting him based off your Phenom Finder in the draft guide and his tape. The guy's a stud.
Right. You checked out the Phenom Finder?
I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see here. Charlene says overpriced Mahomes. I guess I don't know if she's agreeing or she's saying that's crazy for you.
I got to give her props because she predicted that. That's before the live started. So a
Wow.
lot of viewers tonight are guessing these people. We're thinking a little, like it's getting a little more creative in the approach. That's good.
Right. That's how you know you got good content when they take on your esotericness. You know what I'm saying? They kind of know where you're going. And I like that. I don't want guys to agree with me all the time, but I do like them to understand why I'm picking the guys. And you don't agree with every guy that I picking, but you understand why I'm picking them. And I think that makes good content.
Absolutely.
Charlie says he's proven himself. He only does what he has to do. He doesn't have to exceed. Yep. He doesn't have to exceed. Right. He don't have to go out there and throw for 400 or 500 yards. You said that earlier when we was doing the live stream.
The Saints are not marching in my roster. That's funny. She said the Saints were the lowest scoring team. Staying away.
I'm actually taking a lot of those guys because they value picks this year.
Kamara, man.
Kamara's a great and Rashid Shaheed.
What about leagues that do kickoff and point return yardage and all that? He's putting up good wide receiver 2 numbers.
Right. I think you can even take that away. He's still going to be a top 24 wide receiver. Because Derek Carman has a good deep ball.
Pause.
Yes, I was gonna say pause. I'm like, I don't know if I need to say it, but yeah, you said it for me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
The Saints are not okay. Yeah, we seen that one already. Zach says I've been drafting Derrick Henry and Kamara a lot in mock drafts. I think that's good value for both.
Nasty.
Charlene says she loves King Henry. You know how women are about kings. They love kings.
Stephen G. Willikers asked, yeah, so this is all before we even went live.
Finally hearing his right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna take over for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Zach said drafting James Cook a lot. Then we got the countdown. We got it started. Zach referred to Wright, I believe, is Walmart CJ2K. The Roll asked, how far apart is CeeDee Lamb to AJ Brown? That's a good question. I personally don't think they should be so far apart.
Right.
Only maybe because of the hyper targeting point that you made, because CeeDee will be hyper targeted versus AJ. I think AJ Brown will get a lot of targets this year based on the OC.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get as many targets as CeeDee, but I do think he will have his games. To me, I would want it to be a whole round. But I don't want to touch AJ Brown into the second round.
I got you, man. I got you. Jamie needed me to turn the fan off because he was tripping balls. I did. You're welcome. Will agreed. What's up, Will? He said he agreed with the take on Patrick Mahomes.
Right, I do too.
And Zach says fade the Chiefs, and then we kind of started talking about like the kicker, the defense, and all that. And he said, yeah, he forgot about the Chiefs defense and the kicker. Ethan thinks Jonathan Taylor is too overpriced. He wouldn't take him with a top 20 in a redraft. Would you take him top 20, TD?
Yes, I would. Just depending on who I drafted. So if I could get Saquon and Jonathan Taylor, I'm okay doing that as my first 2 picks.
That's a stacked running back core.
Right.
And then Zach agrees. Zach thinks JT is overpriced as well.
Yeah, I don't think I think he's overpriced if you want to take him in the first round. I think he's great second round value.
I agree. Jamie said, give me Richardson outside the top 8 QBs over Caleb Williams. I agree. He'll probably be a top 8 QB, though, wouldn't he? I would think so.
Who?
Anthony Richardson.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
And then Will said, I agree with you, TD. I don't see why people are so high on Caleb. I can understand in Dynasty he went first overall.
Right.
Again, he might be serviceable like later on in the season or all season. He's gonna be the starter. But like, where are you getting him at? What kind of team do you have to where you're drafting him? That's the question. We know he's a stud.
Correct.
Should the Dolphins get rid of Tua?
No.
One moment, bro.
Okay. Let me see where we at. Yeah, should the Dolphins get rid of Tua? No, I'll say keep Tua. He fits great for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. He gets the ball out quick, and that's what you need for speed demons that are like, a little bit smaller, right?
Sorry,
Jamie was
bro.
making
Cats
fun.
killing each
You
other.
good? Jamie was making fun of you when you. He said, "Now I can't see you to turn the lights off. I want to see that beautiful bald head." Pause. I'm gonna give you a hard. No, that was that Jamie. No, that wasn't Jamie who did that the other day. Okay, never mind.
That's funny.
Anthony, what's going on, brother? Anthony says Purdy will win MVP and the Niners will win the Super Bowl this year. Hey, I won't be surprised. Hey, Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. Steven says 3 pulls of a fan would have turned it. Oh, okay. Jamie said, be careful looking at Fantasy Pros rankings. Some of your guys haven't updated their rankings since before the NFL draft. Yeah, I know that, but it gives a good context. And I'm not hey, bro. I don't care nothing about their rankings, but I do look at them to make content. You know what I'm saying? Because they do rank their guys. My rankings doesn't, go off of what they're doing. But I think it's good to use those picks or the rankings to make content with. Osama bin Laden. What's going on, bro? He says, Kirk Cousins, I'm taking over him. Who are you taking Kirk Cousins over? I guess you're talking about Caleb Williams. Vincent, what's going on, bro? Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Appreciate you being here. He's give me JD5 in the 9th round. I kind of like that. I'm not saying take him over Caleb, but the rushing upside, like you said earlier, Harambe. Robert says Caleb is trash, but but Willie isn't any better. What you got to say about that?
I don't like USC, so I don't know. I'm biased a little bit, maybe, but I don't think he's trash. I think he might struggle at times, and I think he might boom at times. I think he's a good talent, but he's surrounded with great players, right?
Right.
He's got some running backs over there, some youthful running backs, and they were a good defense to close out the season last year. I think they were top 6, something like that.
Right. You talking about the Bears?
Correct.
Right.
But again, I would draft Caleb. Like if I don't draft a quarterback at all and he's there in like the 11th or 12th, yeah, I'd take him. But I'm not interested in Caleb for redraft this year. But for Dynasty, I would be.
Right. Let me see. Zach says, Harambe, would you take Drake May over Caleb Williams?
In redraft? No.
Would I take Drake May? No, I wouldn't either. Jamie says Levis is super sneaky, and I'd rather have him over Caleb too. I wouldn't. That's one thing that I say I wouldn't. I'd rather go with Caleb Williams, and I wouldn't be surprised if Levis outplays him. I'm just not. I think Caleb got good weapons also. Caleb got really good weapons. He got DJ Moore, he got Keenan Allen, and Cole Kmet. And he got Romeo Odunze. I'm not that big on Odunze, but I do respect his talent. He's on the Phenom Finder. Guys, make sure you cop that Patreon, $20 a month. And those rankings are being updated a lot by Fantasy Football Key. Dynasty Football Key. He does a lot of dynasty content. Make sure you check him out. Vincent says, "Yeah, Will Levis over Caleb. We need to pause." I like that, bro. I like that.
He's over him.
Robert said, "I like Bo over Willie." So you like Bo Nix over Will Levis?
That's a pretty fair comparison, in my opinion. Skill set wise, and Bo can run a little bit if he needs to. He can scramble and extend plays and whatnot. That's a really good comparison. That's a really good comparison, in my opinion. And he's got the better offensive coach, allegedly.
Right.
I could see people going either way on that. Me personally, I would take Levis. I'm a little more excited about Levis, but that's a stumping comparison. Like, it could go either way, and I think depending on who you talk to, it could go either way.
Right. But bro, I'm gonna go get me something to drink real quick. I'm gonna let you go. You can go ahead and read out some of the comments. I'll be right back.
All right. Vincent Rufo said Kyron is a week winner whenever he is healthy. Yeah, man, we saw it last year. Funny story, and I'll take heat for it. Week one, Kyron balled out and Puka balled out. So those are your two, free agents that everyone's going to be going after. I was a fool, and I went after Josh fucking Kelly on the Chargers because I thought he was going to take over, and they didn't want to pay, Eckler, and they weren't going to utilize Eckler anymore. They just wanted to move on. So I lost my league. I made it to the title game, and I lost to the guy who picked up Puka. So fantasy is a fickle bitch. It can crush your soul, and like a little free agent acquisition there can make or break your season. For me, a bad draft or a good draft with good sleepers and good value can make your season. So I was really pissed. I was really hurt and upset. But we move on. It's a new year. We're moving on. I like Kyron late second, early third. McVay loves to run the ball. Yep. Fact, McVay. So this was referring to
Kyron Williams.
Right. McVay hasn't had the same RB ever reach 1,000 yards in a back-to-back season. And that was a reason I chose him as my overdrafted running back, because they drafted Corum, and he's going to get utilized in the season. So it's a great point, man. Todd Gurley was different. Kyron ADP is way too high, injury prone, and Blake Corum's really good. Yep. Kyron ruined my team due to injuries, so I don't like him at all.
Kyron he was gassed down the stretch last year.
Yeah, man. He was putting up 20, 30-point games between that. Maybe even a little over 30 points in one of those games.
Right.
Corum is going to keep Kyron healthy, so Robert thinks they're going to rotate, which I agree. That's why I think, like, with a healthy Cup and rotating those running backs, is Kyron going to return the PPR style value, or even the goal line? Because you got a lot of goal line as well. He has been going at the end of the third. Yeah, that's a smash spot to take him, in my opinion. Right now, Kyron is currently going mid-third in the drafts. I would never draft Henry. I would rather draft Henry in the second, said Zach. I'm targeting Derrick Henry this year. I think he's going to maybe something, 11 to 1,200 all-purpose yards and 15 touchdowns.
I would say maybe 800-900 yards rushing, 15 to 20 rushing touchdowns.
The run or the play option with those two is going to be insane. And then we're high on the receivers and the tight ends as well.
Right.
So what if they come out the gate slinging the ball? Everyone thinks they're going to pound the ball. What if they come out slinging the ball? And all the coaches are like, what? And they got to, like, flip the script on their defense. They have weapons to do that. It's going to be spicy. I'm excited, man. I can't wait to draft some Ravens.
Facts.
I would rather, okay, we saw that. At Harambe, would you draft Kyron over ETN? If he's healthy and he's getting the same amount of touches, I said yes. So I'm going to stick by that. and I think I catch some hate for this. I can't hit the like button. All right, we taught you guys how to do that with the 3 dots up in the corner. Zach is not drafting Josh Jacobs. Jamie, thanks for being here. Thanks for the like. I said it's a great question. Vincent, what percentage of the time have both backs been healthy in Green Bay? Not 80% for sure, and he's right.
Yep.
Because we were talking about how McVay likes to rotate the running backs out.
Right. And even when they've been healthy, he still didn't give one of them like a bunch of carries.
Because he doesn't want to get them hurt.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. And then Jamie said, give me Aaron Jones a full round later over Jacobs. I'm skipping. Yep. I got him in Dynasty, man. I love Aaron Jones. I since his rookie year, I saw that talent. And it's kind of like along the same lines as Devontae Adams. For me, I drafted him his rookie year, and I thought he was going to be special paired with Aaron Rodgers. I like Kyron over Etienne if healthy. Yep. And then I was agreeing with Vincent. Jamie said, if you like Kyron over Etienne, you're playing fantasy football wrong. Man, I don't win a lot of titles, I'll be honest with you, but I come in second quite a bit. I do very well on DraftKings, and I have good takes. I've won leagues, though, but recently I've been coming in second quite a bit. And I said, am I? And then Stephen G. Willikers said, cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur. We ain't drafting Jacobs. I think he's referring to some movie that Smooth Brains watched. I'm not sure.
Right.
Well, he's talking about Dodgeball. He's talking about Dodgeball movie.
Yeah, that Dodgeball. I love that movie. Especially that. Yeah, that was a good movie. I love Vince. What's his name?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, one of my favorite comedians, man. One of my favorite comedians.
He's
Jamie,
real funny.
I think Kyron and Etienne, I hate to take it back to this. Who do you want, Mila Kunis or Margot Robbie?
What if you can draft both?
Standing ovation.
It's preference. I know a lot of people are very high on Etienne. He was the running back 1 for a few weeks, I think, early last year, or running back 2 overall. Like,
right,
he was balling out.
Right.
All right, and then Jamie said, "Give me Mixon in the 4th over Jacobs." What do you think about that? You got Mixon over Jacobs in the 4th? Is that too early for you?
No. Maybe. It just depends, because if Alvin Kamara gonna be in the 4th, I'm taking him over those guys. But I'm probably ain't gonna get to any Jacobs. So would I have a Mixon? Yes, Mixon can be my flex play in a regular standard league. Not standard in scoring, but just the setup, like 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers in the flex play. Yeah, Mixon could be my flex play. I'm not gonna get Josh Jacobs. I'm probably not gonna be able to draft him.
I think if he fell to me at the right spot, I would draft him. Charlene said, "Keep it clean."
Yes, she was talking about somebody said, "Cram it up your cram hole." That's what I think she was talking about.
Yeah, no cramming, you guys. And then Zach said, "TD, would you rather draft Kyron Etienne?" Yep, McBride over Kelsey for Zach. Charlene said, "I would pick Kyron over Etienne." Zach said, "Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez?"
I'm probably taking Tony Gonzalez.
I'm saying Gates. Gates, one of my favorite players of all time. Again, I'm in San Diego, so we got to see the good stuff, right?
Right.
Super Bowl predictions in June. Let's go, TD. What you got?
Baltimore and Detroit Lions.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Green Bay Packers, Buffalo Bills.
I don't think that's bad at all. I like that you putting the Buffalo out there. Buffalo gonna have a good team this year.
So, I mean, if they don't do it this year, it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a spicy pick, but I think like MVP goes to the Super Bowl. Like, let's go.
I think Buffalo got they opened up another window because they got rid of Stefon Diggs. I think they got a new window. I think they can win it. They don't got to win it this year. They building their team. They're gonna be drafting some young, really good players.
I like that receiver they got, Mr. Coleman.
Right.
And then Jamie said Kyron over ETN is insanity. The definition of insane is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same results. Kyron will never reproduce what he did last year. I could see it being a thing with Corum. But at the right draft price, I would love to draft Kyron Williams.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a great statement, Jamie. I can't disagree with you. If Kyron is getting work, that's all. I'm okay with it. But drafting him early, I see what you're saying. In ETN, I mean, he's just as volatile as Kyron. They both are volatile. I think ETN Tank Bixby can come in and take carries from him too. So, but I get what you're saying. I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. It makes perfect sense.
Zach said drafting Pittman or Waddle instead of Drake London in the third.
I agree.
I would rather have Zay Flowers than Drake London. Boom. Now you're talking, man. I love that. I love that take. Zay Flowers is underrated.
Yeah.
He's underrated.
Yeah.
But we don't want everyone to know, right?
Well, outside of this community, no.
Right. We all want to win titles except for Golly G. Willikers. I don't want that guy to win a title ever. So Zach said Flowers over Drake London. Yep, I love that take. Nifty likes London's upside as a wide receiver too. I think if you draft a stud wide receiver 1 and then he's the wide receiver 2, yeah, I like that take. Drake is going early second with Waddle and Pittman going mid-third. Then I said the chat's spicy. I asked Jamie what thinks about Drake. Drake is going 2-1, 2-3. No way you getting him as a wide receiver 3. Yeah. You out on Wilson too because of an injured QB. So that's a good point. Garrett Wilson. Aaron Rodgers. What do you think about that, TD?
Saying that don't draft Garrett Wilson because of Aaron Rodgers' Achilles injury?
Right.
I'm willing to go down with the ship with Garrett. Who's the backup quarterback this year?
I don't even know. Rookie?
Okay. I like Garrett Wilson. I don't think he's like, better than like Amon and stuff, but he's a good talent. I think Garrett Wilson is kind of him and AJ Brown kind of got the same ADP.
Okay.
I might rather take Garrett Wilson over AJ Brown. It's not because he's better, but I feel like who else gonna get targets on this team in the past as a wide receiver? They don't have no Devontae Smith. They don't have a Dallas Goedert. They got a breach. They got a breach.
Preach. Yeah, Nifty agreed. Garrett Wilson since Rodgers coming off the Achilles injury. And I thought that was a good suggestion. And Zach agreed as well. Jamie had 8 tight ends projected for 800 yards or more. So that would allude to the point you're making, how the offense now flowing through that position.
Right.
So we might start seeing like tight end ones all over the board now, right?
Yep. Agreed.
Kelsey back on the menu. Pause. Tay Adams probably drops a ton this year in ADP. That's what Skrilla thinks. Probably, you know what? I can see it happening. The closer we get to draft season, like some of the hype on some of the other players helps it climb up, and then no one's talking about Tay Adams, right?
Listen, let him drop.
Volume monster.
Let him drop.
Yes, let him drop.
I'm taking him. Last year I wasn't on him, but this year I'm on him because I'm on him because his ADP is great. It's fantastic.
I agree, man. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. He's one of my favorite players in the game.
Right.
I have Andrews projected. Jamie with another spicy take. I have Andrews projected for the most yards and touchdowns and you could get him as a tight end 5. We'll see, man. If he's healthy, like he's obviously one of Lamar's favorite targets.
I do definitely think he gets that he could get the most TDs, but I don't think he's gonna get the most yards.
How many touchdowns do you think Zay Flowers could have?
7 or 8, 13, 1,400 yards.
And then what about Likely?
About 700, 800 yards. About 7 touchdowns too.
Damn. All right, I like it.
Lamar's going for 4,500 this year.
He's my favorite player in the league.
Yes, sir.
Zach said his favorite tight ends this year are McBride, Kincaid, Njoku, Pitts, and Ferguson. Those are all studs.
Me too.
Sam,
yeah.
Will said Sam is better than every one of those. So he's talking about LaPorta. This is when we're talking about LaPorta. He's better than every one of those tight ends you named except for Travis Kelce. Evan Ingram. Yeah, man.
I disagree. I totally disagree with that one on Will. I think he's better than Ferguson, and that's it. See, that's my point. But that doesn't mean, because it's been a lot of guys that aren't great as a talent better than somebody, but they put up better numbers. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm not gonna say I like him over Jamar Chase, but he's not more talented than Jamar Chase. But I like him over Jamar Chase. Pause. And so LaPorta, talent-wise, route running, all the things that it comes with to be a special tight end, he's not better than Pitts and Njoku, Kincaid, and McBride, but he's better than Ferguson. But he's on a better offense. You take McBride with Kincaid and Njoku or Pitts and put them on Detroit, they're gonna do the same thing that LaPorta did.
Yikes, man. I agree. He thinks Jamie thinks Andrews is the tight end 1 this year, so we can go back to it. He might be right, man. I could see it happening.
I can't.
Lamar's gonna throw it that much.
I can't. I can't. No way. Let me ask you this: how old is Mark Andrews?
What's that?
How old is Mark Andrews?
I think he's 28.
28, 29. He's been nicked up with injuries his whole career. In order to be the number 1 tight end, you got to get like hyper targeted. Now, can he do it off of touchdowns? Because of touchdown upside, that's what LaPorta did. I don't think LaPorta had the most yards, did he?
I think like Ingram did or something. Like
right.
Something,
but LaPorta touchdowns,
like
he had like what, 12, 13 touchdowns? So Mark Andrews could be that through touchdowns, but I don't think through yards. So listen, I love Mark Andrews through touchdown upside, but I'm drafting him early, like he's going to be high value. I think he's going to be the most efficient tight end in the game outside of LaPorta. I think LaPorta's going to be efficient too.
B. Skrilla said Kittle's top tier every year. B. Skrilla said Freiermuth, super sleeper tight end. Jamie said Hawkinson missing the first 5 weeks won't give him tight end 1 numbers overall, but when he plays, he'll get top 5. But getting him in the 11th, 12th round is a major value when he plays. I agree.
Talk about Hawkinson?
Yep.
Okay.
When he plays, like he could put up numbers and he's going to be a value is what he's saying. But he does put up very good numbers. We saw that last year in that offense.
Right. Hawkinson reminds me of LaPorta. They're not like phenom guys as far as their athletic ability, but they are good tight ends. And so I'm not going to sit there and say Hawkinson is like a bad player, but I don't know, coming off a knee injury, maybe if JJ McCarthy can hyper target him a little bit certain games, say certain weeks.
Yeah. Will thinks LaPorta is better than McBride and Njoku.
No way. What do you think?
I think so.
Tell me how.
The offense?
No, we ain't talking about. He said better.
Are we just talking,
about offense.
Talent, skill, athleticism?
No way. How he more like
No.
Njoku?
I'm asking you, is that what we're
Oh,
talking about?
yes. That's what we're
Because
talking
then
about.
it's
Better,
Njoku.
not better, not,
It's
not better
Njoku.
fantasy.
It's Njoku.
Right, right.
That
And then
guy's
I
a
would say, and then
beast.
I would go to McBride, then LaPorta.
Right. I
Right.
just
That's
like
what I'm talking about.
LaPorta in fantasy. If you put Njoku on the Lions,
It's more than
unreal.
Shiro. Right.
Unreal.
Right.
So
And,
for
and this is
talent and
another thing that
skills,
I think I want two people to understand. And I want to break it down like, guys, if you go to fantasy, the top fantasy guys aren't the best. They're not better players, but they on better offenses. To me, if you if you take out Pat Mahomes and you put Lamar Jackson there, Lamar Jackson could have the same amount of Super Bowls as Pat Mahomes. Or maybe even, and he could even be a better quarterback because of his rushing upside. What makes Mahomes is because he's with Andy Reid. You put Lamar Jackson on the Jets, they a playoff team. You put Mahomes on the Jets, they're not a playoff team. They get big reason why Lamar can take a team from scraps because of his ability and win. LaPorta is a good tight end. You put him on a great offensive team, he's going to eat. But you put him on a team that's sucky and they don't got no good players, and you tell LaPorta to be the best guy. I don't think he could do that. He could be okay. He's not going to be elite doing it. That's why Detroit Lions let go. Why would you let go of Hawkinson and get LaPorta if Hawkinson was good as y'all say he is? He was like, he's not good enough to make our team better. But he's good when you got Justin Jefferson beside him. But you got to say, well, we got Hawkinson. We don't need no another tight end and just hyper target him. No, he's not that type of player. So that's what I'm trying to say when it comes to McBride. And y'all don't have to agree with it. But if you look at the athletic ability and stuff like that, and they jumping up over 2 or 3 people and outrunning people, Njoku and McBride is good at that. LaPorta he could do everything well. He's just a balanced player, a really good balanced player.
Yeah, man. B Squirrel thinks Goddard is probably a good sleeper tight end. Zach is drafting likely as well later in drafts. Will says, TD, and you think David Njoku is a superstar? B Skrilla said,
Right.
Cole Kmet is a sleeper. I agree. Cole Kmet is a sleeper, especially with the offense and the quarterback. Hopefully the quarterback gets him the ball. I think he will. LaPorta in the late third is a good value, but don't reach. Okonkwo is a sleeper, says Zach. Yep, I agree. AJ Brown going late for a second. Yep. How early should DJ Moore come off the boards? B Skrilla asks. How early, TD?
5th round, maybe. I'm not taking him to the 5th round.
I would take him. I'd take him late 4th. That's probably the earliest I would take him. DJ Moore in redraft, I take him late 2nd, early 3rd. So Jamie's high on DJ Moore. DJ Moore is good as your 3rd best receiver on your fantasy roster. So as a wide receiver 3, that's filth, right?
I agree.
I prefer DJ as a wide receiver 2. I don't know if I could take him that early. Dynasty DJ Moore should go late 3rd, early 4th, but I got him at 411 in a super flex at a value. Okay. I feel that. I get you're doing pretty okay, so be screwed. DJ Moore as a wide receiver on your roster. Yeah, so like that would be Would you guys rather have DJ Moore or Diggs?
I would rather have DJ Moore. Whoo, I don't know. I might. Oh, that's a tough one, man. That's a very tough. I don't know. I might go with Diggs.
Spicy, man. Spicy take. AJ Brown with Kellen Moore is hard to pass up. I agree. I think he'll have a better year than last year, and he put up pretty decent numbers. I want to see the touchdowns go up. Jamie said,
guys, and I respect your opinion, but I want y'all to keep this same energy when the season starts. So when he ball out, because if he don't ball out, I'm gonna come back and say, bro, you was right. But when he balls out, I want you to say the same thing. I want to keep that same energy.
And then we said goodnight to Jamie. AJ Brown or Devontae Adams in redraft? Who you got? That's a good one.
I like Devontae Adams over AJ Brown.
I think if you take AJ Brown in the late first, you could land Devontae Adams.
You could, but in a vacuum, I like the ADP value that Devontae Adams is going.
I agree. I took Brown.
Right. And then this offense. So there's no number 2 wide receiver. So this is going to be a play action team. So with Devontae Adams getting a lot of one-on-one coverage, he might not have the couple boom games that AJ Brown going to have. But when they get around to that fourth quadrant and third quadrant, because that's what y'all failing to realize. Because if I said some guy was, hey, I like him over Justin Jefferson, you would say, well, TD must think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is a superstar. But that's no context in that right now, is it? It's the same thing as when things get going down the road. Devontae Adams is going to be having great one-on-one coverage because this team is going to be running the ball a lot. AJ Brown in a wide open offense, yeah, with Pat Mahomes, but Jalen Hurts is not going to be throwing the ball that much this year. If he was, they wouldn't have paid that much money for a running back. So I like Devontae Adams at the ADP. AJ Brown may finish over Devontae, but at the value that I'm gonna get Devontae, my AJ Brown is going to be Sun God. It's going to be Tyreek Hill. That's going to be my AJ Brown. My Devontae Adams is going to be competing against your number 2 wide receiver. That's my point.
Yep. That's a good point. Stephen G. Wilkers said to you, TD, are you taking Gibbs over the Sun God?
No way. No, I'm taking Amon-Ra. I think Amon-Ra, I wouldn't say anybody was crazy if you was taking Amon-Ra as the number 2 player off the board. So if you want to go Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, and then whoever else, if you want to go CMC, that's fine. I think Amon-Ra with his consistency, that's what we're talking about. I love it. So Amon-Ra is probably my second best player right now that I like off the board.
Wow. I love it. I said Sun God all day, and then Stephen G. Wilkers said TD though, ? He doesn't think you're a Sun God truther. And I said, oh, he is. Trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been on Amon-Ra St. Brown for a long time now. After that first year, where I lost to him in a championship game, and that guy had like 6 straight weeks of like 25 points or better. So yeah, ever since then I've been high on Sun God.
Nico all day over Diggs. He can't argue that. Got paid and he's youthful. Diggs going late second, early third, which is too early according to Jamie. I agree. Haven't seen Diggs fall past 303 in over 45 drafts. Way too early. I agree, man. I agree. And then Jamie said, okay, I'm out now. For reals this time. Said, man, I'm trying to fall asleep, but y'all keep me entertained. We're keeping them entertained, TD.
Yes, sir. That's how we do it. Cutting edge content.
Mixing in the 5th, way over Diggsy. So that's when I asked, would you rather have a value pick and Mixon or you want Diggs? So he said Mixon as well. Isaac said, honey touches.
Right. And but this is what I would say. Like, how will you ever, like, you made a great point. You said this, Harambe, but how, if somebody would say, well, I'm taking Diggs, I like Diggs over Mixon, they would be like, what? But that's not what we saying. It's the value of what you get in the player. But so I don't want to go back and heap on anything, but why do I gotta take LaPorta in the second round, and not you, Harambe, but why I gotta take LaPorta in the second round, and then you're gonna compare a David Njoku that I'm getting in the 7th round and saying that's different? Now listen, if Njoku goes out there and get 4 targets, yeah, and it ain't big booming, yeah, that I agree with you. But it's about the value, right? It's about the value. The only way that I'm gonna like pick you high up there where Diggs is going, you got to be getting stupid targeted. And Mixon gonna end up being a top 5 RB 3 or 4 times just because of the team getting goal line snaps. So I'm not saying Diggs, you take Mixon at Diggs ADP, and y'all know that, but I'm not touching the Diggs, and I probably would fade Nico too. I like Nico, but Nico's value is moving up. So with his value being high and so many weapons, I'm probably gonna fade Nico too. And I like to get Mixon a part of that offense because that's gonna be an easy value to take Mixon there. I'm not gonna stress my team out taking Mixon.
He's getting the honey touches, bro. The goal line. Let's go. D'Amico Ryan said Pierce will be utilized still, but if Mixon is getting all the goal line touches, he is 100% worth it. Yep.
Right.
Joe
Correct.
Mixon is being drafted mid-third round in ESPN mock drafts too early. It's too early for me. Would you take Mixon in the third?
No way.
I wouldn't either. Give me Stroud and Mixon at their ADP over all of them wide receivers. So Jamie wants the Houston Texans offense. Stroud,
Right.
100%. Mixon is late 4th or mid-5th on Underdog. He said F is ESPN. All them getting targets is hilarious. Nifty's talking about the wide receivers on the Texans.
Right.
Dalvin Cook should sign with Dallas. Do you want another running back on the Cowboys, TD?
Dalvin Cook should sign with Dallas. No, we don't want no Dalvin Cook. No form or fashion.
No.
No
They
form of
got
fashion. We
Zeke.
don't want Dalvin Cook.
They got Zeke.
Right. But Zeke is just a goal line back. Dalvin Cook is not a goal line back. I mean, he could be goal line, but he ain't more powerful than Zeke.
We just want to see him jump in the Salvation Army red bucket. That's all we
Yes,
want.
sir.
That's fun. That's good times. I hate ESPN format. Mixon or ETN? It's a good question.
Mixon or ETN?
Yep.
ETN all day.
Yep. Mixon CJ Stack. Yep. Nifty said ETN. Zach said, I'm in a few ESPN leagues. The rest of the leagues that I'm in are Sleeper or Yahoo. Jamie
Wait a
said,
minute. Let's go. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's go back. I think we passed this one right here. Vincent, he says 32 years old Adams over AJ. Pause. Again, that's another, and I understand what he's saying, but so why would you put AJ Brown against Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams is going in the 3rd, 4th round?
Do you know what kind of receiver I like over AJ Brown at his value if I can't get an AJ Brown at a good value? You know which wide receiver I'm taking?
Who?
DK Metcalf.
They
played together in college. They're the
right,
same
but you can get
style
both
of
of these
receiver.
guys. You can get both of these guys together.
Maybe.
Yeah, you can get both of them guys together. DK going like what, round 5? Yeah, you can get AJ and DK. But yes, I'm taking Devontae Adams, and I'm fading AJ Brown because I'm gonna get probably Saquon Barkley at AJ Brown's ADP, or maybe somebody else, maybe Puka Nacua. Just depends on who's there. That's what point. So saying Devontae Adams over AJ Brown is you reaching, and again, it's not understanding my content, because I'm not gonna sit here and read out ADP rankings and give y'all the guys out to ADP rankings, because I told a lot of you last year. I told you there's a lot of outside of the Daniel Jones. Outside of Daniel Jones, I told you guys that I'm willing to take. I said about Pat Mahomes, and all of you talked about Pat Mahomes was crazy last year of taking him at the ADP price. And now it sounds good, don't it? It sounds good, but it is a good take. You have to go and pivot off certain guys. Listen, I'm not saying AJ Brown is going to be a bad player, but I'd rather take Devontae Adams with the ADP value. Don't put them up. They're not the same. They're not going at the same ADP, so you can't match those two up.
Keep going, bro. Kamara or Mixon? Zach asks us. For me, I'd take Kamara. Tyler said, only ones better than ETN are CMC and Breach Hall. Harambe is awesome. Huh? Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it, man. Anthony Richardson over Josh Allen. Facts. Stephen G. Willikers with the silly name. The silly name. Jamie said, Kamara is a 7th round pick. Kamara in the 7th is robbery. That's wild, man. I don't see him lasting that long in my drafts. But if he does, you got to take him. Josh Allen is greedy. Yes, I agree. As a James Cook owner last year, I agree. Very greedy at the goal line. Willikers said, I think Kamara goes early 5. A Dunze over Marvin Harrison, says Cameron Khan. What do you think about that?
I'm trying to find where we at in the chat. I can't find it.
Oh man, I'm just going down the list.
Okay, let me look.
Look for a nifty comment. Says agreed. Neighbors is the best. 100. Look for that.
Okay.
Tyler thinks the New England wide receiver room looks wide open though, so meaning competition for touches and time on the field. Yep. Zach Moss or Jalen Warren. Ooh. Zach Moss because of goal line. That's just my opinion. Andrews is so underrated. He was hurt last season. I'd expect a massive bounce back from Andrews and Kelsey. I agree. People don't talk about Kelsey got hurt week 1 against the Lions. He hurt his knee, if you guys remember that.
Right.
Shaheed is wide receiver 23. If you add the kickoff yard last year, yes, man. Top 15 sleeper if you get those bonus. Yes, I agree, Jamie. Saquon takes a dip in that offense, says Isaac. Kellen Moore. Richardson or Kyler? That's a good one. Kyler. I'd feel better taking Kyler. That's just me. Tyler C137 says, not many leagues include kick return yards. That is true. I don't trust Shaheed at all. Yeah, if he doesn't, or if you play in a league that doesn't do special teams return yardage, he's probably not worth drafting. But if he gets more targets, which he should with Michael Thomas being gone, maybe he's like a waiver guy, you know? AR5 top 6 says rock out. Yeah, man. Zach says A Rich or J Love.
Okay, I thought I seen that.
Yeah, just go back to that. I'm just going down the list, man. I'm going to try to get everyone's stuff read.
Right. But man, I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm trying to be kind of, but let me see.
Lennon said, who's your team? Bears here. I'm a Bengals fan. Zach's team is Steeler Nation. If you guys got some, some spicy takes, hit us with some super chats. I'm at the bottom now, TD. I'm just caught up at the bottom. We could just start from there. What's up, bro?
Oh, Rich. Okay, I see the A Rich and Collar now. I see the A Rich and Collar.
take off from there.
Right. No, man, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and keep reading, man. I'm just kind of going through these chats. I'm just skimming through real quick, seeing what's going on, what's being said.
Kyron or JT? I'd rather have JT. Taylor could be RB1. People forget Indy has one of the best O-lines in the game.
$19.96. Good to see you here, bro. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. S. Thomas Backus. Appreciate to see you here. I haven't seen y'all here. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Puff Pass Kick. Appreciate you here. Just tuning into some of the cutting edge content. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Question for you, TD. Chase Brown or Jaylen Warren?
I'm probably going with Jaylen Warren with that. I like both of them, but Jaylen Warren to me is going to have a chance to score a little bit more touchdowns.
Like more goal line stuff?
Say that again?
Like more goal line stuff?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Tyler said, do you remember that game Zeke tried running up the middle at the goal line 1 yard away 4 times in a row, and he failed?
Right. And you got to give a little bit of smoke and mirrors. You don't always have the best offensive line in the game. So giving to somebody 4 times in a row, you got to do something a little different. Not up the middle every single time. I'm not huge on Zeke, but I understand. I mean, we didn't get no running back in the draft. This is going to be a passing team on Dak. So it's up to Dak Prescott, whatever he's going to do.
That's it, man. We caught up. Do you guys have any questions we didn't touch on? Any players you want to hear about? Anything?
Well, I see plenty of questions we didn't read. We didn't say I think Saquon takes a dip in that offense. We didn't talk about that one. I don't remember talking about that one.
You think he's going to have a great year in that offense, though?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. No, I don't think he's going to take a dip in that offense. They bought him in. I think he's going to have a good offensive line. He's going to have more running holes. Pause. I don't think he's going to have to put the offense on his shoulders and win games. I think this is a real talented team, and I think everybody's going to eat on this team.
Did you know they're coming out with a sequel to Dodgeball?
Is what you call it going to be in there, Vince Vaughn?
He has to be, right?
Right.
Kamara got a great playoff schedule. Commanders, Packers, Raiders. I can see chance of Cooper Kupp taking over a ton of targets. Puka may have a minor decline. So are you worried about that, TD?
With Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, like if he's healthy, is it gonna like kind of hurt Puka's ADP?
No. Because it depends on what you looking for. Like, I just want Puka Nacua to be a. I think both of these guys can be top 12. So I would like to have Matthew Stafford and have the stack. That's what I would like. I think Cooper Kupp is going to have games where it's going to be better than Puka Nacua, but I'm willing to take both guys, and I really like Puka Nacua. I think he's going to have some really upside boom games. Super says, are you high on Jamar Chase this year? I like him at the right ADP. I'm worried about injuries. That's it. But Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. I have nothing to say about Jamar Chase, especially with his athletic ability and with Joe Burrow hyper targeting him. So I'd rather take Amon-Ra St. Brown before Jamar Chase. I said that last year. Everybody said I was crazy. And I know y'all might not like the content when I say what people said, but I'm gonna stand on that. That's my content. And that's how I make my predictions. And if you take that the wrong way, that's on you. So I said Amon-Ra last year was going to be. I like Amon-Ra over Jamar Chase. Is he a better athletic guy than Jamar Chase? No, he's not. And if Jamar Chase goes out and be better than Amon-Ra, yes, that's very possible. I won't be surprised, but I stand on that Jamar did outplay Amon-Ra. But to me, I'd rather draft Amon-Ra over Jamar. I see Tyler says Benson was my favorite rookie RB. I was hoping Dallas would have drafted him. I thought that too. I thought they was gonna get him too. Not sure how he'll do with Connor. I think he'll be fine. Connor will get goal line carries, but maybe Benson will get some passing opportunities. Zach says I want to get Zamir White off the waivers. Zamir White is on waivers in my dynasty league. My dynasty league doesn't do fab money. What do you suggest I do? The waivers in the league didn't start yet. I say spend everything you got to get Zamir. I think we talked about that last time. Get everything get Zamir White. Kevin, what's going on, bro? He says, what do you think about Caleb Williams? I am not that high on Caleb Williams in redraft. I think there's a lot of great value quarterbacks out there that you can get. And if you can stash Caleb Williams in a single quarterback league, yeah. But in Superflex, I think he's a good pickup. What do you think? What do you think about Caleb Williams? I think you already said it, but this is a new person with a new question.
Yeah, Kevin. Obviously in Dynasty, yeah, you take him number one. If you are taking a quarterback very late, like after maybe like the 10th or 11th round, then you could probably target him. I'd be more excited over Daniels personally, and I wouldn't take him that high either. So that's just kind of our opinion on it, but I wouldn't fault you for taking him. He's the starter. He's going to put up points, right? Keep going, TD.
Right. You go real quick. I'm still looking for a comment that you read earlier, but I can't find it. But I'm not gonna ask what you said on the comment. I'll wait. We'll talk about that after we get off the live. But
okay. Jamie said breakout player of the year, JSN. Bounce back player of the year, Ramondre Stevenson. Hopefully, have him in Dynasty. Biggest bust of the year he has is Kyron Williams. Spicy take, man. Tyler said Chase and Cooper were league winners last season. Both of them had 50 points week 17. Super Reddits in a half PPR league. Who would you take with a 12th and 13th pick? Half PPR 12th and 13th.
Okay, I see it.
I
found the comment. Go ahead. What'd you say, bro?
He just said Super Reddits asked in a half PPR league, who would you take with the 12th and 13th pick? And I'm thinking
we talked about that. That's your boy. That's what one of the main debates have been on this channel tonight. AJ Brown and maybe Saquon Barkley.
Stack them.
There you go. Some guys are great to pick up with stacks. Some guys are bad pickups to you when you got to wait for your pick for like not five, but I would say like 10, 11 picks. You got to wait to pick again. That's tough. But when you can pick two players at the same time, I'm okay with taking AJ Brown and another guy. I would like to get Saquon and AJ Brown right there.
If you can, or if it is possible, I would like to maybe do like a Puka and Gibbs there.
Right, if you can get Puka. But I wouldn't, man, this is what I got to say about Gibbs. I like Gibbs, bro, but David Montgomery, man, I hate to even put this on Gibbs because I love Gibbs, super talent, but he might be a better value. If you get Gibbs and he give you 8-9 points, I'm gonna ask you this, Arambi. If he give you 9 points and David Montgomery got 2 touchdowns for 16, and Jameer got 11 points with 60 yards and a couple catches, are you gonna be upset?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you'd have said you wouldn't been upset, then I would have said that's a good pick. But don't you think it's unfair to depend on Gibbs to give you 50 points and better every week?
I'm going with the kind of the coach speak. They're talking about getting him way more involved in the passing game.
Okay.
So in
Okay.
a half PPR and up, I'd be a little more, enticed to take him there over a Montgomery.
Okay.
But Montgomery's got the goal line, but hopefully Gibbs gets a few of those,
Okay.
But
Right.
I like his PPR upside.
Right. Okay. And by you saying that, which we knew that he was gonna get a lot more catches, but by the coach saying that, I guess I'm okay with that. But it seems like they patty cake Jameer, which is not a bad thing. They don't want to run him into the ground, and that kind of hurts his fantasy value to me a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm kind of fading Jameer Gibbs a little bit,
Okay.
just a little bit, just depend on. But I get it. What was the point again though? Let's go back to what we was talking about.
Well, we were just following up on the chat there. The 12th.
Yeah, about the AJ Brown, right? And Puka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just gave like some guys I'd be targeting if I could get them at that turn. I would be okay with those guys.
Right.
So you had a question or a comment you were looking for. You want to go to that?
No, I found it. I just wanted to see who had said it. I found it because I couldn't find. I got lost in the chat, but I found that there's no. We're gonna move on. We'll talk about it when we get off the live.
All right,
it's
Kevin,
no big deal.
I got you, man. Kevin said, "I'm scared as a Bears fan, so he doesn't know what to make out of what Caleb's gonna do." I don't think you got to be scared, man. I wouldn't like set your expectations at the Super Bowl, right? He's got to gel with the team and the coaches. So I would be excited if I was a Bears fan. Diggs, Collins, or Dell can all three eat, says S. Thomas Backus. What's up, man?
No, all three can't eat. But all three will eat. And what I mean by that, it's going to be some Diggs weeks, it's going to be some Collins weeks, and it's going to be some Dale weeks. Will all three of them be in the top 24 is really what you're trying to say? No. Can two of them be in the top 24? Yes. But can two of them be outside the top 24? Yes. It could be a Dale week where Dale goes for 35 points and Diggs and Collins have like 12. So to me, I say get one of those guys as your wide receiver 2 as far as Diggs or Collins, and then Dale let him be your wide receiver 4 or 3, and I would be happy with that. I think in order to grab all those points, I think C.J. Stroud is the common denominator. That's the main guy I would want. And I actually think C.J. Stroud could be the number 1 quarterback. And if you took him number 1 overall as in a super flex league, I wouldn't be mad at you. Or took him as your number 1 quarterback off the board as a single quarterback, I wouldn't be mad at you. That's how I look at it. I actually think Dale is the best value.
Kevin said he's keeping CJ this year. Yeah, probably got him cheap. Jaden Daniels to the moon. Finished top 3 in 25 of 33 leagues last year. That's a lot of leagues, man. Then I got fired.
Jamie says if Gibbs falls, take Gibbs, but he hasn't gone past 110. So if you're lucky, grab Gibbs at 112. Yeah, I can't say nothing about that, Jamie. I like Gibbs. I like Saquon over Gibbs, man. Tell me I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy, man.
I just think Saquon. I don't think Kenneth Gainwell is going to come in and take Saquon goal line. I don't think the quarterback. I got to bring for Jalen Hurts is going to come in and actually take a lot of his goal line carries. Yes, the tush push will be there, but if they wanted to keep doing the tush push, I don't think they would have got a high end guy like Saquon. Why not go get Josh Jacobs or not? I wouldn't say Josh Jacobs, but maybe Aaron Jones.
Kevin said
Puka. Appreciate you being here, Daniel. Bro, it seems like the chat getting a little bit, we're getting more people to come in. So that's one of the reasons why I'm keep going live, man. We probably, those guys are probably subscribing. So if you want to, bro, I'm, if you good, you good. If you need to get off, just let me know. But seems like people are still coming in. I see new names in here.
No, I'm good, man. We can keep going.
Okay. Daniel says Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins. I appreciate you being here, Daniel. Cutting edge content here. I think you got to go with the upside of Kirk Cousins. I think you got to go with the upside of Kirk Cousins. I actually think I wouldn't be surprised if Baker outdo Kirk. And this is what I'm saying, because I know you're like, oh, Kirk Cousins, Baker, but Baker doesn't have an injury. And Baker's played with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Cade Otton for what this will be his second year. So I actually like Baker Mayfield with this offense. Kirk Cousins got coming off of the Achilles injuries, and he never played with Drake London or Kyle Pitts. So I still would take Kirk Cousins for the upside with the talent on his team. But Baker Mayfield, I won't be surprised if he finishes better.
That's a pretty tricky one.
It is.
Good one, Daniel. What would be both of y'all's favorite deep league wide receiver to take a long shot on? Round 18 or later?
Round 18 or later. He said, what would be both of y'all's favorite deep league wide receiver to take a long shot on round 18 or later? So I can't talk about Rashid Shaheed, can I? He's too early, ain't he?
Yeah. I think this is like super sleeper status right here.
Right. Super sleeper, I would say Marvin Mims. But if Rashid Shaheed falls there, I would rather take him.
What
but
about
I would say Marvin Mims.
Marvin Mims? What about like Darnell Mooney? Would he last that long?
Yeah, I wouldn't touch. I can't go get Darnell Mooney. That would have to be a waiver wire guy that I picked up in redraft.
Kevin said fantasy football OG started playing in the late 90s. Sweet, man.
Right. Jamie says, can we talk about me coming on as your next guest? Yeah, bro, listen, tomorrow, I would say probably around about 7 o'clock Eastern time, we're doing a mock draft. I would love for you to come up, man. And I'm gonna be doing some content from StreamYard, not these type of lives. And I would love to have you, Harambe, 4, 5, 6 guests. I think it's very good content. Again, guys, I say this, and hopefully y'all can understand. The way I talk content, that's why I wanted Harambe to come up here, because this guy is very knowledgeable. But it's hard to digest my content. It's hard, and not saying that Harambe is safe, because he's cutting edge too. But sometimes my takes are can be this spicy, and it takes time to understand it and comprehend it. So I love having a tandem of guys, and I think it's good for the content people. I think we all have different opinions. I watch a bunch of channels, and so, brother, I would love for you to come up. I know you know fantasy football. So yes, just hit me up tomorrow. Email me or whatever, and I can let you know what time, and I'll see you to StreamYard link. Matthew becomes a Ricky crew. That's why, brother, we still going. That's why I said let's stay on here, because we still grinding. Appreciate you, Matthew. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content, guys. Very different. Let's see. I want to go. It was a Puka one. Puka or Brown? I think we answered that, but I would go with Puka over AJ Brown. What about you, bro? Would you go with AJ Brown over Puka?
I would go with Puka.
Okay. Let me see. Zach says Mayfield and Puka. Okay. Round 18 or later, going Ryan Flournoy. Okay, I like that for the Dallas Cowboys, but I think Jalen Tolbert had a couple good games last year. Who you like, Jalen Tolbert or Ryan Flournoy?
I'd rather go with Tolbert.
Right. Daniel says, appreciate you guys. I subscribe. Appreciate you, bro. Kevin says, tough question. Mims is going way earlier than round 18. Mims is like round 14. Okay. Okay. Is that best ball or is that redraft? I guess that's probably both. Who was your round 18 guy?
I said Darnell Mooney.
Okay. Deep wide receiver. And no, it can't be. To me, it would be Marvin Mims. That's the only guy I can think of right now. I like Jamison Williams. I do like Jamison Williams. I love talking football all year long. We do too, bro. I already drafted one team. Tobert is a hidden gem. I agree with that. Who is the highest upside in running back position for fantasy football? Highest upside at the running back position for fantasy. Who would you say?
What's the context?
Who
Like,
has
who's
the
the best
highest
running back
upside
in the
at the
game?
running back position? Highest upside, that means
like a guy who
could
has
be RB1, who's not been RB1.
Okay. Breach, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit down farther. I'm gonna try to find a guy who's. I would say
Bijan. That's a good one.
I would probably go down to Alvin Kamara. I think he had, for his ADP value in the first round, is Breach Hall all day. Right? That's easy, right?
I was just kind of confused at the question.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. That's why I don't think you're wrong with what you said. I just do want. I like to kind of give us something where,
like, upside at ADP.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you, man. I love Alvin Kamara.
But Breach definitely, as far as who got the highest upside this year in fantasy football, as far as that running back position.
Yeah.
Tyler says, how you pronounce that guy's name? Is it Flournoy?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. I still like Flournoy Tate, though. Who knows? Anything can happen. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love Tajay. He said Tajay Spears, Kevin. He said he likes Tajay Spears. Yeah, I definitely like Tajay Spears. I think Harambe likes Tony Pollard a little bit better because he's done it before, right?
Out the gate, maybe. I want to see kind of how they're both utilized.
St. Thomas, what's going on, bro? He says, how many wide receivers go off the board before taking Brian and Breach? That's a great question. 4 to 5? What would you say, Harambe?
5.
I'm not taking Justin Jefferson before those guys, but I would say consensus would probably say that, right?
I would think so.
Zach says Derrick Henry upside.
He's a beast.
Yes, Derrick Henry does have great upside. You're right. That's another good pick. I think Lamar rushing numbers are going to be hurting this year.
Well, I think he only had 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns last year, which to me seemed a little low.
Very low.
And I don't think he hit 1,000 yards rushing last year.
Right. Congratulations, Tyler. Appreciate that, bro. God, and when we go on StreamYard, I'm going to go to the members' questions first. But when I go live stream, if we scroll down, we can lose our spot. So I don't want to be scrolling down and scrolling up, scrolling down, scrolling up. But when I go back, when we do some live streams through StreamYard, I will get to the member. So don't think coming a member, you just coming a member. You do get your questions answered first. Okay, let me go scroll up a little bit. It was a couple questions we might didn't get to that I want to make sure that we got before we just keep going down and down. Appreciate everybody staying on the live. Harambe, man, I appreciate you, bro. It seems like we are a great tandem, man. These lives, these fantasy football late night lives are really hitting, man. And I appreciate you, bro. Sitting here going live with me and coming in, and because this ain't easy, man. This ain't easy.
No, this is fun, man. We do this because it's fun and because we love fantasy football, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the community aspect is so cool. So,
right.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime, bro. Anytime, and because your fantasy knowledge is really, really good, man. How long you been following me, Harambe?
About a year.
Okay, you found me last year.
Little more than a year, I think.
Okay, how did you find me last year, man? Because that gives me context. Did you have to scroll all the way down on YouTube, or was I in your top videos?
I think a short just kind of randomly showed up on a player. Because
Okay.
I think I was watching tape on a player, and I think it showed up, and I hadn't seen it, so I clicked on it, and I'm like, oh, that was a spicy take. And then I checked out the other videos. I'm like, okay. And you were giving takes that weren't,
conventional,
kind of mainstream, So, and it makes me think, and it helps you approach the fantasy game a little bit.
Right. So that lets me know, man, that I gotta maybe keep doing some shorts because it does reach fantasy football players.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kevin says A-Chain and Keith Mitchell will eat. I don't know about Keith. What you think about Keith Mitchell this year, man? I liked him last year. Do you think he's going to have any kind of a decent role, especially with Justice Hill being there? And Justice Hill played good in the fantasy or in the real playoffs.
I had him on my bench in the title game, and he went off, and I just coulda, woulda, shoulda, and I was like, damn it, whatever. But I like Keaton Mitchell. What I saw, he's explosive, but I don't know if he's gonna eat too much,
Right.
Maybe in garbage time if they're stomping people and they take out their starters, maybe.
Right.
Right. Oh, yes.
And he's coming off a knee injury, and he's an explosive type running back. I don't know about that. Yeah. Right. I think that's why they went on and went with Derrick Henry. So I don't know. I'm not probably not touching, but I love A-Chain. I love A-Chain. A-Chain is the boom guy. A-Chain is, he can give you 30 points or he can give you 5 points. Kevin says Breach Hall will finish as the RB1. I think so too. I believe so. I've been hard on. Look, bro, we don't call him Breach. I don't call him Breach. I call him Breach. I call him Breach.
Preach.
Jamie says I found TD in the Facebook group. Watched this video and was like, "Damn, this dude is cutting edge. Let me check this shit out." Right.
That's what I did.
And I say different stuff, man. But I don't do it, guys. I want to tell y'all, be honest. I don't do it for clickbait. I really believe that stuff, right? I really believe it. I'm like I said, I'm not always right, but I think, with fantasy, man, I've been watching fantasy for probably about 5 years now, but I've been watching the game for a long time. And if you go look at the championships teams, guys, it usually isn't the CMC, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson teams. The championship usually be some team who picked up some rookie like Kyron Williams or some sleeper like Puka Nacua, or had a quarterback like Jared Goff in the championship week that won the championship. So that's why I think you have to try. That's why I broke stuff down to quadrants. When I was just processing the data, and I was a math guy in school. Now I wasn't brilliant in math, but I was decent in math. And I'm looking at these numbers. I'm looking at numbers. And I'm like, well, what the hell do week 4 numbers mean? That shit don't mean shit. You can ball out week 4, week 5, but I got the number 1 team and I lose to this sorry ass team. And like the fantasy football playoffs, he got Jahmyr Gibbs, who didn't do shit the first 6 weeks. He got Matthew Stafford. So I said to myself, the team you want is to try to have a team where you got a few Justin Jeffersons and Tyreeks. Then you need some rookie guys who's going to be trying to get better as the season go on. That way, you don't have these low-end teams pick up these guys and hunt you down and track you down. How do you feel about that, Rambi, what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, like, for me, I'm not taking guys like Keaton Mitchell. He has top-tier speed. Tyler says the usage is questionable. I'm not taking guys like that.
Right. I think you got to. I'm just, long story short, I just think you need to take guys who's going to be trending. They might not hit in the beginning, but they're going to be trending. So sometimes you got to get a little bit spicy and stash guys. Listen, if something happened with Derrick Henry, Keaton Mitchell could be a league winner later. So he's not a bad pickup and not a bad stash. Tyler says Keaton Mitchell has top tier speed. Yes, he does, but he's coming off a bad knee injury. Super says, who's the best running back in fantasy football other than Christian McCaffrey? I guess I say it's a tie between Breach and Bijan.
I really want to see what Breach can do with healthy Aaron Rodgers.
Right. What do you guys think about DeAndre Swift? I say all I got to say is fade.
What round would you take him?
That's a good question. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure that out. It would have to be way at the end of my drafts when I'm just stashing guys.
Like a bench guy?
Yes, definitely a bench guy. Definitely a bench guy. And I know he's going to have a week where he boom, right? But I'm not going to try to get that on my team and catch that, right? And catch that boom. Tyler says, Breach the beast. I like it.
Yep.
I can see Saquon finishing over Breach this year potentially. This is what Zach's saying. Still drafting Breach over Saquon, though. Right. You still draft him over him. I understand it. But top 3 running backs are Breach, Bijan, and Saquon. I agree with that. How do you feel about that? You might like somebody else. Who's your top 3 running backs?
Bijan, CMC, and Breach.
Right. You definitely got to throw CMC in there outside of an injury. If you ain't talking about injuries, you got to talk about CMC. Yeah. I agree with that. Tyler says Caleb is going to rely heavily on the Swift. Swift has the best players on screens and dishes.
So like check downs and PPR value. If he gets PPR value, yeah, I'd be interested. I want to see it.
Jamie says I stream a live silver screen on 420 Crew channel, and tomorrow morning we streaming Geeky Kids movie. Yeah, man. The 420 Crew, man, are really good. I used to we did a lot of content together about 3 years ago. But we, a couple things happened. I'm not gonna sit here and try to blame anybody for it. We just wanted to go our separate ways. But those guys know fantasy. Alex was one of the first guys that brought me up on his channel and showed me a lot about this business. So I always would get Alex respect. And some of the other guys on there are really good too. So things happen. But yeah, man, I gotta I'm gonna have to check that out, bro. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Because I know they started a movie reaction channel. And me and Harambe going to be doing something like that, as we're going to do it like this for a while, the vertical streams, but we're going to do some StreamYard reaction videos, and we're going to talk about fantasy, and we're going to react to some things. I want to mix it together. I don't want to separate it and just do straight reaction videos. I think we need to bring it together.
Yep.
Tyler says thoughts on Tyrone Tracy. He was number 1 on the waiver wires of Dynasty after draft. So I don't want to take no victory lap, but I would like to say I got to pat myself on the back, bro. Remember, I talked about Tyrone Tracy before he even got drafted, bro. You remember that? Did you watch that video?
I did.
Yeah. And he wasn't even like on sleeper yet when I was talking about him. But now that he went to the Giants, he couldn't went to a better spot with a better opportunity. I love Tyrone Tracy.
I didn't know who he was. I learned who he was from you.
Right.
And then I did my research, and he's a talented player.
Right. He's also on the Phenom Finder, guys. Make sure you sign up on the Phenom Finder on Patreon. $20 a month, guys. The reason why it's $20 a month, I got guys like Tyrone Tracy high over guys that everybody else was talking about. Then, so imagine if you had the Phenom Finder, you would have been on Tyrone Tracy before everybody else was. He didn't have to get drafted to the Giants. So that's why you should cop the Phenom Finder on Patreon. $20 a month. And we're going to have a Discord and things like that of that nature. And you can request videos. Kyron is in that conversation. We're kind of fading Kyron at the round 1 level, but we're willing to take him at the late round 2.
Yep.
Let's see. Tyler says Swift in round 10 or 11 is great. I guess so, man. I'm not gonna be disingenuous to that. I just, man, the way I am, man, when I block players out of my mind, I can't get to them. Now, listen, I take anybody at the end. Once I got my team filled, then I take good value. And a running back like Swift is good to have as a backup in case somebody get hurt. But as far as me knowing what ADP to take him, I have no clue. I'm not going to even really try to research it and try to say when I should take him. How do you feel about Swift? Are you taking him at like a right ADP, or are you just drafting him to be the best player available?
I would where I agree with Tyler here. Like that's where I would be looking to maybe draft him because I got my lineup filled out, put him on the bench. So if he returns PPR value and gets some goal line, right, round 10 is about where I'd be looking at him. Yeah, I agree with you, Tyler.
Jamie says fade Swift. He is going in the 7th, 8th round, but I'd rather skip him and grab Roschon. Hey, Jamie, that's one of the best comments. I agree with that, bro. You getting Roschon Johnson in the 17th at round 17 is great value. And the reason why is because who gonna block for Caleb Williams out there? DeAndre Swift can't block. So when DeAndre Swift is out there on the field, they're gonna use him for plays, but I think Roschon is gonna be a better play just because he's gonna be out there on the field more blocking for Caleb Williams' blind side. And I think that's gonna give you better value. I'd rather take Roschon over DeAndre Swift too. Durf boy, what's up, bro? He says, "What's good, bro? I don't know if guys talked about him yet, but what do you think about Jonathan Brooks?" He came off a knee injury, and when guys come off knee injuries, I'm not drafting you early. Like if you show me something in the season, I might trade for you, but I'm not drafting you early. You like Brooks, Harambe?
As a talent, yeah, in Dynasty, yeah, but be like maybe another guy I draft after the 10th round. Maybe.
Right.
Throw him on the bench, see what he does. Maybe in quadrant 3 or 4.
Right.
But I do like that offense this year.
Yes, I do too. And I do think he's a quadrant 3-4 running back. James says, "Oh shit, Alex Fire. I understand why you kind of left though, bro. Yeah. It's all good, man. I'm not gonna sit here. We moved on from that. It was a bad fallout. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Alex, man. Like I said, man, he always helped me out. I thought about hitting him up, maybe sometime to see how his channel doing. Cool guy, man. Cool guy. That's all I got to say. I ain't got nothing negative to say about him or the other guys. Juan, what's going on, Juan? Hey, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Appreciate you guys being here. Real quick around me, I know I already said it, man, but I think this is who's doing this? Who's going live for fantasy football this time of night? Is anybody else doing this?
In this time of year?
This time of year?
It's June.
Right. I think this is cutting edge content, right? For us to be doing this late.
Yeah, man, this is tight. Pause.
Right. Pause. What we think about Cooper Kupp being a top 5 wide receiver this year? He wasn't fully healthy throughout the whole year last year. I think he's a top 12 guy because of him and Puka. I love, man. Listen, CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford got the most weapons in the game as far as passing weapons. So I like taking those guys to squeeze the most offense out of the passing game. So I'm trying, one of the stacks, that is my number 1 stack this year, I'm trying to get Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford. I think Cooper Kupp could be the number 1 wide receiver some weeks, or he could be the number 16 wide receiver. Same thing with Puka Nacua. I think it's going to alternate.
You think he could sneak inside the top 10?
I think both of them going to be top 12.
Top 10? Maybe?
I think 12 just a little bit of a solid, safer number for me to say. But yes, definitely. I don't want to be too saucy because, bro, here's one of my bold predictions. Could both of them finish top 5? Right.
No.
It's a bold prediction. It's a bold prediction.
That's wild though. Like if that happens and you have those two guys in that quarterback, you're gonna win your league.
Right. But if anybody could do it, who could do it? Do you think Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay could do it if anybody could do it?
Oh yeah. I'll be rolling them out.
Right. Didn't Robert
Woods the Superflex?
Right. Didn't Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp finish as top 12 about 2 years in a row?
Yep.
Okay.
Woods ADP rose after that season.
Big time. It did. Right. Nifty says Dayball is in love with Tracy at rookie camp. Okay. I like that.
Like he's in love with him?
Right. No pause.
Damn.
Kevin says, I think Kincaid becomes Kelsey like this season. I don't know if he's Kelsey, but he does have a good season. I think he will have a good season. Kevin says, I like Khalil Shakir. Why not? You don't know who's going to be the number 1. I think that's a good pick to pick up. Roshan is a beef with low mileage. I agree with that. Kevin, you got that? You talk like you've been on this channel for a while. We talk about low mileage a lot. I know I do. James says, remember Jonathan Brooks sat behind Roshan and Bijan in Texas. Right. He did. Nifty says, feel like Brooks are one of the best 4th quadrant league winners. He could. That's what Harambe said. You know, I ain't been on that. Maybe you might be on to something, Harambe. I like Chuba Hubbard, man. I think I'm stuck on Chuba Hubbard, and I'm being biased with Brooks.
I drafted him last year because my first running back was taken in the 6th round, James Cook.
Right.
And then I took Kamara, Hubbard, and then Zeke.
Right. Tyler says, is there any concerns with Khalil Herbert taking snaps from Roshan? Khalil could get traded. Khalil, it's too many mouths to feed in that backfield. So I think Khalil could get traded or Roshan, but I think Roshan is a better blocker, so I think they keep Roshan, and he's on a rookie deal. Kevin says, hell no. Tyler says, nobody on this late, bro. I agree. I don't think nobody doing fantasy, bro. I think, we might be maybe at are you familiar with Kevin Samuels?
He's like a speaker guy, isn't he?
Well, no, he was doing like red pill content. I hate to even say that on my live because that can flag it. But he was doing like red pill content, and he was like going live late at night, and he ended up getting like 1 million subscribers in like 3-4 months. Like he was killing it. And I feel like, but he had like been doing YouTube for like 5-6 years, and his channel was never really getting that boost. And he changed up his time and started killing it. So nice. I'm just trying to say, giving context, like, bro, us doing it late. That's why, and guys, I might not be able to do it late through the weekdays. For the weekend, I'm gonna do it late. And when I do this full time, this is what we're gonna be doing, guys. We're gonna be going late almost every night. I'm gonna be taking over from 10, 11 o'clock West Coast time, and wake up and do this every day. And again, that's why I appreciate my homeboy Harambe. Yeah, I know it's late on my end, but I appreciate you staying late up with me, bro, and doing these questions with me.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's fun. I'm learning stuff too.
Kevin says, I love the football chat. Thank you. Great take on Puka and Kupp. Thank you, Tyler. Christian, what's going on, Christian? We got another female. I love to get the females in. I'm trying to grow a female subscribers count. I believe this is a growing entity. So I want to do some leagues where like all female leagues. I don't see anybody else doing that. And I think it'd be, I think that'd be really fun. Or maybe like even a husband-wife league. Chris says CeeDee Lamb going to be the number 1 wide receiver at the end of this year. I won't be surprised. I don't think nobody would be surprised at that. I think he can. Definitely can. I'm
love him too. I got him in Dynasty. Let's go.
Right. James says Healthy Cup can definitely be a top 10 wide receiver, and you getting him in the 5th round. Oh, exactly. Kevin says Mike Evans and Godwin finished top 5 a few years back. Oh, they both finished top 5?
There was a year Godwin balled out.
Yes, I remember that. He was like the number 1 wide receiver. Is he talking about the year with Jameis and Winston? Did they both finish top 5 that year?
I would have to go back and look. If they did, that's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Kevin says, I'm a football guru like you too. Yes, sir, brother. I would consider myself a football guru. I wouldn't consider myself a fantasy football guru. Maybe. I think I'm good. I got championships. Tyler says AJ and Smith could finish high, so I agree with that. That's but I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what makes me kind of be off of AJ Brown a little bit, because I think Devontae is gonna get a lot of value. The reason why I believe people are gonna try to take away AJ Brown. I don't know if you can take him away going to around your point. The boy he's awesome, man. I have nothing bad to say about AJ Brown as a player. Kevin says, I take the clear pill. Okay. He said he's not blue pill, red pill. He's taking the clear pill. Daniel says, what are your thoughts on Quentin Johnson heading into this year? Are we giving up on him? No, sir. I think he's a great value to take.
I got him in Dynasty. I need him to boom. So I'm rolling out CD, MHJ now, Quentin Johnston, and Debo. Not bad.
Right. Zach says, in Dynasty Superflex League, I got CJ Stroud and Joel. I also have Daniel Jones and Bryce Young on my bench. My plan is when Daniel Jones or Bryce Young booms, I'll trade one of them for even more. I agree with that. Especially Bryce Young. You'll be able to get a bag for Bryce Young. Daniel Jones is a guy that I'm on. I'm not high on him, but I like him this year. But I got burned by him. Pause. I got burned by him, and I got PTSD with him. So I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to go through that again.
You don't want to go there no more?
Huh?
You don't want to go there anymore?
Nah. Nope. And listen, so when he ball out, I'm still ain't gonna say anything. But what I am watching is when people say, hey, TD, Daniel Jones balling. I'm gonna be like, hey, listen. I'm not even going to read the question now because I know what Daniel Jones can do, but if he's doing it or not, that's a whole nother different story. And last year he played garbage. I got to give him some blame. Kevin says Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers would be dope. It will be, and I'm willing to take Garrett Wilson. To me, the same ADP is between AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson. Who do you want? I also think you can get AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson at the 112 and the 2-1. You also can do that.
Yep.
Last comment, guys, and then I guess we're gonna get ready to get out of here. Last comment says Jason Kelce could change a lot of things for Philly. Yes, it could. It could. I'm not gonna sit here and cap. Maybe the tush push, but Lane Johnson and a couple of those other guys that made All Pro and Pro Bowl still gonna be there. So I'm okay. I love Saquon this year, man. I think Saquon go ball out, man. I really do, man. I mean, you got to worry about AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. When has Saquon played with that type of talent? Whoo! He ain't gonna be running against no stack boxes too much, bro.
I want to see the PPR value go back up.
Right, catching them passes.
Yep.
All right, guys. What you want to say? Anything you want to say, Arambi?
Everyone, this is so fun to do, and when you guys come up and ask the questions and the chats and everything, so we're gonna get this going. So let's get it going. Just like and subscribe for TD.
Right. I like that. Zach knows. Zach says when Daniel Jones has a great season this year, I'm going to say TD called it last year. Right. I did call it last year. I'm off of him. And sometimes it happens like this. Sometimes you can be on a guy a little bit too early. Kevin says Eagles always stick on the line, I'm not worried. Right, I wouldn't worry. Dirkwood says, if I draft Gus Edwards, who should I handcuff him with? Dobbins or Vidal? Vidal. I'm not drafting a guy with an Achilles injury. Yep.
Nope.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Y'all be safe. I see y'all later. Peace.